each of the members that are going to present to help us by introducing themselves and tell us what they do now, so that it will serve as an encouragement to us, and also what they are going to be talking about. That's one after the other. But I will start. I'm not supposed to be the moderator. I will hand over to Adigun Joshua to be the host. Since he's the host, let him be the moderator. Mine was just to give this opening remark, and I hope we have a very wonderful session. At the end of the day, all of us will go home appreciating that we attend this gathering. So, Adigun Joshua, over to you. And this is just brief. I will also at the end of the December. For now, let me hand over to you to be the moderator. Thank you, and God bless you.
Amen. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you very much. I would like to welcome everyone. Sorry, I'm hearing a feedback. Okay, so I would like to welcome everyone to today's session. The organizers, the hosts, the speakers, and everybody, the participants. I would also love to acknowledge the Vice Chancellor of the Federal University of Technology, the DVCs, the Dean of our school. When we were in school, there used to be School of Engineering and Engineering Technology. So I don't know if it's been separated now. And then the HOD, Dr. Stace, and then the senior lecturers, professors, associate professors, and other staff of the department. Especially, I would like to thank Mr. Nu. Coincidentally, everybody that will be speaking on this call or in this session today, we were his children. He was our level advisor. It was our father. It was a mentor to us, a guide, and we'd like to thank him for helping us through helping us to navigate through school. Then it was always welcoming. Funny. One good thing again is he was my supervisor, right? And then he was also co-supervisor to Oluwatoyin and Mahmoud. So it's not today, it's our father, and we really appreciate you for doing this and for giving us this opportunity to kind of come back to speak with the final year student. On that note, be maintaining the protocols, right? And then I'd like to quickly introduce some of our speakers. Let me see. Is Toyin still here?
Yes, I'm there.
Okay, so I would like to start with our class papa in the person of Abdulaziz. He was our class rep, and he was instrumental to our level being able to, I would say, one of the best levels that this department has ever had. Am I correct, Machinga Antoine and Hafiz?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We always we're just good like that. So Abdulaziz was our class rep class of 2017. We're actually class of 2017, and a brief introduction about Abdulaziz. Abdulaziz is a Microsoft certified trainer. He has vast experience with Microsoft Teams, calling, the calling aspect, the voice aspect, and he's a Teams voice engineer. He's a Microsoft Teams certified subject matter expert. He's also a system administrator, a technical support lead, a desktop support lead, and also a DevOps enthusiast. Coincidentally, myself and Hafiz worked previously with a company called Tech Expert in Lagos. So he was even given the best technical lead award. So he has a lot of experience that surrounds Microsoft Teams and Microsoft 365 in general. So you are welcome on board, Abdulafiz. He has over a lot of years of experience,
Thank
over
you.
10.
Thank you for that well and you know, too much of Mihila, let me call it here. Thank you for the introduction.
Yeah, you're welcome, sir. All right, so next on the list, I should have started with the lady first, right? But you know, everything we do, we have hierarchy, so I needed to call the class rep first. So the only lady here, our mama, Iron Lady, Oluwatoyin Ibiyemi Owere is a data analyst, a data science expert with lots of experience in using Excel, Power BI, Tableau, and R. So when you, after these sessions, right, after a session basically, and then you need to, maybe you have interest in data science or data analysis, she's a go-to person. She's the CEO and owner of MyHotmail Limited. So she's also a web developer, a PHP web developer. In this age, a lot of AI has brought in a lot of ease to how you develop, right? But we still spoke some days ago, she still develops from scratch. She writes the code from scratch. And also, if you are interested in Microsoft Teams, the way we are using, the Teams we are using now, right? It's actually beyond this. You can also reach out to Abdulafiz. So thank you very much, Oluwatoyin, and welcome on board.
Thank you very much, sir.
So to Machunga Amalai, as Valerie will always say, Machuchu. So Machunga is a PTDF scholar. He's presently in France. You can see his face. The face you are seeing now is totally different from it. That's a French face, actually. So it's not a Nigerian face. Machunga is a Power BI and artificial intelligence expert. He's a Microsoft certified data analyst. He's a data scientist, and also presently, I don't know if he's done. He's currently studying at the École Ingénieur en Informatique, doing his Masters of Science in Data Science and Analytics in France. He is also a freelancer working with different companies around the world, freelancing for them, basically on their data science and data analysis projects. Thank you very much for having your time here today, Machunga.
Thank you for the introduction. In France, we say avec plaisir. That's the pleasure.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And then to Abdulrazak Mahmood. Coincidentally, Mahmood and Toyin were project mates, and then they were also my co-project mates, right? Dr. Abdullahi was their supervisor. Dr. Abdullahi was also my project co-supervisor. So Mahmood is a Microsoft 365 expert. We also worked together with Hafiz in the same company, and he has vast experience in SharePoint Online, OneDrive for Business, and Exchange Online, security and compliance. So when it comes to Exchange Online, security and compliance, he's a go-to person also around Microsoft 365. He's also well-versed. Presently, he's also a freelancer, and then working for another company. So most guys you see here are doing 1 or 2 jobs together. So they are freelancing. I know Machunga is freelancing for like 20 companies. And also Hafiz. Yeah, so thank you. He's not here at the moment. He reached out that he's having a meeting, a project meeting actually. So most of us work for companies also here, and then we had to find the time to come on this call today. Thank you very much. So to my humble self, my name is Joshua Adigun. I was just a normal member of the class of 17. Class of 17. And I have experience with Microsoft 365, experience with web development, IT support, and presently I work as a project manager with Asseco Software Nigeria and also an implementation consultant. So I'm glad to be here to speak to us on Microsoft 365 and data analysis. So this is going to be an interactive session where we'll give you guys just whet your appetite, because we talked about this and say, oh, we were once students, we were once final year students, we know how to talk about how computer engineering is. I don't know of now, I don't know guys, if you remember, if you recall, when we came into FUTMINA then, computer engineering and architecture had the highest cutoff mark for post-UME, right? So we were top 2 in the whole of FUTMINA. So we know how the school is, how engaging it can be, how demanding it can be, yeah, and how computer engineering itself, we have world-class lecturers, Mr. No, Mr. Abdullah, Mr. Olani, and a lot of them, Dr. Ajao, I used to call him Dr. Ajao that time, yeah, so, and other lecturers, Mr. Wari, Mr. Aliu, a lot of them. So we thought it wise to kind of organize this session so that we prepare your mind of what is out there, yeah, and how you can kind of make up your mind to from now you choose the track you want to go through, and then from now you kind of have idea of what is out there and how to navigate, and then you have people to speak with to also kind of help you, guide you, and also enter the industry, because yeah, a lot of us will say we are programmers. I'll tell you the developers space is IT world in general is very wide. That's number 1. Number 2, it's saturated. So you have to have unique skills to be able to stand out among your equals, right? So that's why we're organizing this session. So without wasting much time, I would like I'm supposed to begin this session. I'm supposed to begin the discussion. Yeah, so quickly, before I give access or the floor to other speakers, I would like to say welcome again to this session. So quickly, I would like to talk about cloud computing and Microsoft 365. The reason I'll be talking about Microsoft 365 is because I'm also a Microsoft certified trainer, and I'll be biased here. I'll definitely want to sell Microsoft. And so it's part of what I need to do as a Microsoft certified trainer. But using Microsoft 365, which is software as a service, you need to have an idea about what cloud computing is, or what it entails, and then just how other software as a service operate on the cloud, and how they leverage the cloud to make your work, you and I work, and organizations work, or whatever an organization does, to be effective, efficient, and productive. Yeah, so basically cloud computing, depending on the domain, right? So, but because we are computer engineers, and then we are we are also in the IT sphere, we would want to use the right terminologies and standards of definition. But for others, like those having the businessman that's having tire store or the market woman, cloud computing can mean that it's the availability of their data at any time they want it, right? But technically, cloud computing is the availability of fast, scalable, and scalable system resources, computing services, and your data, your on-demand system resources. So you would say, what are system resources? They can be databases, they can be storages, they can be VMs, virtual machines, they can be networking systems, they can be softwares, they can be analytics, they can be intelligence, right? They can even be IoT. I know some of you are already working on IoT, or you've done IoT projects, side project during some of the courses you did, or some of you are even doing it as your final year project, right? So this is basically just to it encourage fast innovation, flexible resources, and economy of scale, right? So what are those system resources that I've mentioned them earlier? They can be servers, they can be storages, databases, networking, software analytics, and even intelligence. Yeah, and then the computing services. That's where we have things like IaaS, PaaS, and SaaS. So what is IaaS? Infrastructure as a service, software as a service, and platform as a service. So we all know how our labs are, right? The computer or the SICT labs. So those are infrastructures that are on-premise. By on-premise, it means it's within your organization. An organization, the school, FUT Mina is a school. It's an organization. So those labs are within the FUT domain, right? Within the FUT environment. So those are on-premise infrastructures. However, cloud computing takes away the stress of you having to go and get these servers, these specifications of system, and then setting up a lab. No, you don't need to even say you want to rent a space, you want to get an environment, or you have to buy this particular 1 terabyte SSD, 32 gig RAM, you have NVIDIA 8 gig dedicated video card and the likes. No, that's why in the definition it says fast and scalable system resources. So you provision your database, your storage based on what you want. You don't have a direct management of how this is done. Yours is to go to one of the cloud providers and then say, okay, see here, I want a 1 terabyte storage. Storage is different from memory. I hope you guys know that. So memory is around volatile, and when you shut down, everything is wiped out, or storage is permanent, right? So I want a 1 terabyte storage SSD. I want 32 gig RAM. I want whether it's a Windows OS or a Red Hat OS, right, or CentOS OS. So you just list your specification, and this stuff, these infrastructures are automatically provisioned for you. It's fast. You don't need to think about having to go to the market. So we know it's very fast, and then it's scalable. It's scalable in the sense that I'm provisioning what I want to use. So let's say I provision a 1 terabyte storage system, and then in the future I don't want I don't need it. I only need a 1 gig, right? I can scale down. So I pay for what I use. I don't have to have a big storage, a big room like the room I am in now, a big room, and then it's too big. So I only pay for what I want. I'm using this particular table space. I'm using one. I pay for what I want. So that's why it is scalable. You can scale up if they
So you're muted. You're muted.
Oh, sorry. Have I been muted since?
Oh no, it's just gone.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. So infrastructure as a service is you renting those infrastructures you need on the cloud. You don't need to have them on premise, right? And then for platform as a service, some of us are developers. We are using VS Code. We are using other solutions, PyCharm and Java, NetBeans, JBrains, NetBeans, and the likes. So for platform as a service, right, it provides an enabling environment for developers to develop software tailored to the cloud. You test them, you deliver them, you do a lot of things there. And then for software as a service, these are already packaged softwares that are delivered as services. So for example, Microsoft, you are aware of the Microsoft you have on your systems, on your PC, right? Now Microsoft said, oh, instead of you carrying your laptop around, instead of you carrying your document around, if you don't have access to your laptop, you can't have a meeting, you can't collaborate on a document, you can't. No, let's offer this software as a service. That's why it is moved to the web with additional things like advanced security, threat management, Power BI, Power Apps, Power Platform as a whole, Azure. One thing you should know is, okay, when I get to that, I'll talk about that quickly. So cloud computing is the brains behind whatever software as a service, even we have code as a service now. We have a lot of services that are available on the web. So without wasting much time, just quickly talk about the building blocks. We have the essential characteristics, the service model, and the deployment model. The essential characteristics, without this, there is no cloud. That's where you have your broad network access, your networking, how do you access the network, and then rapid elasticity, where you can scale up and scale down based on your business needs. And then you have a measured service. Some of us, we use Android phones that you measure, you put in measurements to how you use your data, right? So something like that, just to control how these resources are used. And then on-demand service, you like I said, provision the data at any time, anywhere you can access, and then provision your resources, your VMs, your infrastructure at any time and at anywhere. I would quickly like to talk about resource pooling. I don't know if you guys did. Machina, can you remember when we did a course? I think architecture. We were talking about Pragma, how the threads in microprocessors, how the threading, how they work, all those things. Yeah. So resource pooling, yes. So resource pooling is, for example, I provision a one gig RAM, right? I provision a 1 gig RAM. However, when I'm performing a particular transaction and the system sees that I am using just 500 megabytes, the system automatically reassign the remaining 500 megabytes from yours to someone else that needs it. Cloud is unlimited, but there is no device that's unlimited. So this resource pooling and resource reassignment is what makes up the unlimited cloud. There is no device that is infinity, right? So I just say let me about that quickly. Then I'm going to the service model. That's where we have the IaaS, the PaaS, and the SaaS. I've explained all those. And then the building block is the infrastructure as a service. The platform as a service is built on top. And how do they interconnect? They use APIs for connections and the likes, right? And then we have the software as a service. Everything are connected via APIs that you really do not, as end user, do not have direct management to. So quickly, we have different types of cloud deployment models. We have private, we have public, we have hybrid, depending on your resource you're using. So for public, these are owned by everybody, it's available to everyone, and these are provided by cloud giants like Microsoft. The big fours are Microsoft, Amazon, Google, and Apple. So I would say Microsoft is the biggest, because even now, if you're using Amazon, and when it comes to productivity tools, Amazon will redirect you to Microsoft. So there's kind of joint venture, right? And then that's why I would say it's the biggest. Yeah. And then private cloud is clouds that are private to individuals, organizations, right? So let's say FootMinan, they want a private cloud, so it's only available to FootMinan. Then computer engineering can say they want a private cloud, it's only available to them. It cannot be accessed outside the network of computer engineering. Yeah, and then we have a hybrid cloud where you have maybe public, so that you can interface with maybe mechanical engineering department, another department, or even other schools, right? Like OAU, Unilag, and the likes. But however, you have the private cloud where it's only for internal users, for the Department of Computer Engineering. And then community cloud is where you have, I think it's NACOMF, right? Our association. Is it? I can't remember, but bodies like COREN, NSC, IEEE, and the likes, right? So communities like that, or ICANN, communities like that could have their own private cloud that is just accessed by the community itself. Yeah, so without that would be, or just to edge up with that. So quickly, introduction to Microsoft 365. Yeah, Microsoft 365 was formerly O365. That's Office 365. So it's a software service that is delivered by Microsoft over computing resources that I've mentioned, storages, databases, networking, and the likes, and then services like IaaS, PaaS, and then SaaS. So, but O365 is a software as a service, so it's SaaS. So Microsoft 365 is a productivity tool. Please note this. Productivity tool, cloud tool that is designed to help you achieve more, achieve best in class or best in the world Microsoft 365 apps, intelligent apps, and then even advanced security. So it includes other security features. It includes OneDrive that you can use for your storage. It includes SharePoint that you can use to build your intranet and even for organizational storage and communication. It has even Copilot. Copilot is we are no longer in the computer age, right? We have even passed the jet age. We have passed. We are in the cloud age. We are even moving to the AI age now. So we have. If you don't know, Microsoft has bought ChatGPT, right? So that's why if you check Edge now, you'll see it Bing Chat. So they leverage a lot on a lot of things, right? And then Microsoft 365 is designed to help people and businesses achieve more with innovative and intelligent apps. Before now, it was called Office 365, but which was introduced in 2010, and in 2017, it was rebranded totally to Microsoft 365 with additional features, and then basically that includes security. And if you also don't know, there's what we call Windows 365. So I don't even need to carry my laptop around, right? I can access my Windows anywhere. Just you subscribe to that anywhere you find yourself, and then you have internet. You can log into your Windows. So gone are the days where you have maybe a particular document on your Windows. I say, oh shit, it's in the office, or it's at home. I don't have access to the Windows. Oh, and it's not saved in my Google Drive or in my OneDrive, right? No. You can have that package and then access your Windows anywhere, anytime. Some important features of Microsoft 365 is it's a trusted platform. Microsoft is a trusted brand, yeah, and then security of your data and accessibility is top notch. Microsoft takes security 100%. The guys will tell you that Microsoft will tell you you cannot be hacked except you give room for you to be hacked by social engineering, phishing attacks, or even maybe you wrote your password somewhere, or you registered on public sites and then use the same password and somebody carried out a brute force attack and the likes. So your data is secure 99.9%. And then there is this rich organizational insight where the system, because of the intelligent features built into it, it reads how you use your apps, how you use your how you work on data, and you manipulate your data, your files. It looks through the system and then kind of present a nice insights to you, and then gives you recommendation. That's where you have adoption score, you have secure score and likes, and then you have the intelligent user experience. Another field some of you can major in is if you have eye for colors, you could go into UI UX. You could be a UI UX designer. There's money there too, right? So, but for Microsoft, the intelligent user experience is. I'll give you an example of Outlook. Outlook learns how you read your emails. So it says, okay, these are the emails you read frequently. The emails subsequently that will be coming from those addresses or that are kind of similar based on its intelligent crawling and search. It kind of positions them in a folder called focused. And the ones that you don't read always, it moves them. I think these are not too important. It moves them to the other section called others. And that intelligent feature is Outlook learns how you send emails, right? You have been sending 50 emails a day, all of a sudden you started sending 100. Outlook would say, oh, this is unlike Joshua. He has never sent 100 emails. Outlook will block the user from sending emails and say, okay, if really it's Joshua knows what to do, he can reach out to support and then they will help him unblock the user and things like that. So that is just a brief introduction to Microsoft. And then there are different plans and subscriptions that are available, right? That basically are available to Microsoft 365. So by plans, you buy a plan. A plan gives you access to a product. You subscribe to that plan, right? Basically, you subscribe to a plan that gives you access to a product. So one thing you should know is Microsoft 365 cuts across every sphere of life. The same way the IT world, most especially computer engineering, if you don't know, right? I don't know if things have changed, but when we were in school, then the guys can confirm we did more programming languages than even computer science, right? We did more practicals. We did things like we did things. So if you don't know, you guys are good. You guys are good. You guys have a lot. You guys are hotcakes. So if your tails are being between your legs, I think they should be up and then walk with your shoulders high. Yeah. So you could the same way computer engineering and the IT field cuts across the entire sphere of life, the same way Microsoft 365 cuts across the sphere of life too. In the educational sector, they have the education plan, which Afiz will attest, and he can also speak on that, where there are plans for teachers, there are plans for students, there are plans for even the parents. You can grade your assignment. I remember when we were in school, I don't know if Mr. Nu would recall, Machinga also recall when we did an assignment where we wanted to have like a school grading that system and the likes. Yeah, so you could do all that on Microsoft 365 for education. Your quizzes, your tests, your exams, your grading, printing of results, parents monitoring students' results, a lot of things, counseling on the session. Then across transportation, oil and gas field, you could have Microsoft 365 for frontline, where you work with your frontline. Maybe you have a marketing firm, people are marketing for you. You don't need to be with them, you don't need to call them on the phone. There are solutions that will make you easily manage your frontline workers. It's available in all organizations, whether small scale, large scale, medium scale, non-profit, even NGOs, education, transport, even the government. If you want to work with the government, you're doing deals with DoD, Department of Defense, you need the government tenant, right? So what you will have to provide some information, some documents for Microsoft to be able to approve you for those. So Microsoft 365 cuts across every sphere of life. The teams we are using that, Afis will talk about a lot of things that is one of the technologies that is difficult. It's very difficult. Yeah, and then you would wonder why we are telling you we are talking about Microsoft 365, why we are talking about data analysis. It's just to prepare your mind, right? Support. You will think programming developers are the highest paid. Nah, no, not at all. There's a company called Osova that help people get jobs. They pay support guys $2,500 per month. If you don't know, there are companies like Upwork that pay $14, $20 per issue you resolve also. So a lot of fields, right? So but one thing I failed to mention is Microsoft 365 is built on Azure Active Directory, right? Azure Active Directory is what holds the identity of whatsoever thing that is provisioned on Microsoft 365. You would ask, what is an identity? Your ID card is your identity. your student login is your identity. In Footmina, your student login ID is your identity, right? So usernames, equipment, rooms, all those things are identities. Your computers, your printers are identities that are hosted on Azure Active Directory. You could go to you could say you want to be an Azure solution architect, right? As the word implies, solution, you are architecting solutions to organizations that wants to use Azure. You could be an AI engineer, leverage AI, leverage it through. A lot of things, I did an AI course recently, and a lot of things that we were taught in artificial intelligence in school then, I was practicing it, and I was just remembering predicting markets, a price of a market. You can predict the car, the price of this particular car. The way you use fuzzy logic to predict rainfall, you could use AI, you could do a lot of things, right? You could be an AI engineer, you could be a voice engineer like Hafiz, you could be a Power BI expert like Machunga, you could be a SharePoint or OneDrive expert like Mahmoud, you could be a data analyst, right? Like Toyin. So there are a lot of fields that are available. You don't need to say I must be a programmer, right? So one thing I would encourage is learn a skill, learn it very well, be hungry. I think that's what distinguished some of us, our set. We are hungry for knowledge, and then we learn some things on our own. So be hungry. Learn it. Don't learn, put hand here, put hand here, put here. So you're master of none. So learn it very well, and then the sky is not your limit. It's just your starting point. So thank you very much for listening to my boring talk. Yeah, so I think we'll just we'll take questions at the end, but just to go with the flow, I don't know if Mahmoud is on the call now, but if not, I would like Afis to quickly talk about Microsoft Teams, and maybe I'll come back to talk about SharePoint if Mahmoud is still in the meeting. I'll try to reach out to him now. And before we now go to the data analysis and Power BI track, where the French guys and the Yoruba guys are waiting for us. Yeah, so thank you very much. Over to you, Hafiz.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's an opportunity to be here today. One thing is, well, we've actually spanned through a lot of oceans, lands, forests, and the likes. So having this kind of opportunity to talk to those that are still coming is an opportunity to at least let them know what the real what's actually after school, because many times you wonder what is actually after school. I should possibly ask anyone on the call, like, what do you intend doing after school? At that point, some of us, we do not really know what's out there. Well, I'll go for service. Service will determine what I will do. They take me to this place. People will tell you there'll be a developer. And if you look at the person that says you want to be a developer, you wonder, where would that development skill come from? Because you are possibly not someone that has that flair for programming. You do not have that skill. If they ask you, when we were in school, then I happened to stay with one computer science finalist, and we have one cybersecurity, I think. There was someone that actually brought a project, one of Fanaya projects, and what they wanted doing, they wanted, what was this thing we built doing our 300 or something? We used Proteus to design some things, and well, I saw this guy, what he wanted doing was to design his projects that he's going to contract out for someone to, that it was from Electrica, you have to pay. And then somebody wanted building one power, we built something in 300 levels, something, is it power pack or something like that. And that was what he wanted building. Then somebody, computer science students, had to contract his project out, and it's programming. And you now start to wonder, if you ask this person, you have studied computer science, what do you actually want to become? tell them I want to program, I want to be a program developer, I want to be this, and you have graduated, you still do not have a definition of what you really want to do. Because if you have a definition of what you want to do, we should see it now. Now, one opportunity that computer engineering gives is this. It's very robust and very it's a very wide field. You can diversify as much as you wanted. You can decide to say, well, I can anything that is in line with computer science, I want to go in that direction. Anything that is in line with cybersecurity, anything in telecommunication, you can decide to go any way you want to go. The thing is, you just have to be skilled. Because the thing is, we have the opinion that there are no jobs out there are no opportunities out there. But we got into the space and we got to realize that, well, the jobs that are available are even more than what we can occupy. I mean, those that have skills are not enough, are not measurable to the available opportunities. Because the thing is, you are going for a government job, there may be no much of requirements. They will possibly still give you some opportunities to know how to go about things. But if you want to go into private company where they are using their own money to finance some things, and every company, as long as it is not an NGO, they are benefit driven. There is no way you want to come into my organization and I will not have anything to gain. If you're gaining one from me, I must have gained more than 9 from you before you begin one from me, because, well, I'm employing you to come and do my work for me, then I have to get a better part of it. So the thing is, you have to tell me what you're bringing on the table. There are very, very few instances where you see companies that will say, don't worry, come with anything. You have nothing, just come, I will train you. And now for computer engineering, it's going to not define when you come out as a computer engineering graduate, and basic things you cannot say you can do. Well, that is one thing we've eventually appreciated when we left school. There were a lot of projects. Dr. Delay will give us projects, go and do these. You have to look for one thing that you've never heard of to go and develop that. What are you talking about? Well, like, you start to look for who are those that would do this for me, complete these. It's a lot of things like that. But well, when you get to the space itself, you realize that, well, these are things that if you are possibly taken up as a challenge, you try and learn, you are going to be exposed to some things. Because now, one thing you should notice this. What you need, and one of the most important things you need, is the ability to learn and relearn. Learn, unlearn, and relearn. Because the space is evolving. You cannot just remain in a spot. No, it's not possible. I was into embedded system design until 2016. I moved from there into another thing, from there to another thing. I was, before 2016, before I started embedded system, I was into desktop publishing or desktop support, where I do mostly hardware repairs. Okay, from school experience with the skills I went to pay for, okay, you're able to say, yeah, embedded systems design and the likes. These are part of the things that we have to take up because their assignments are coming from here. Mr. Ajao, we say, oh, you do this, you have to go and look for what is, having worked with this kind of people, you know that yes, this space out there will require more than what we just think you will just go out of school with. And now it helps us to transform ourselves from one phase to another. Now, the generality of this is that you have to keep evolving with the trend. They might have given you assignment. This person wants to give me assignment so that he's going to use it for his own benefit. Well, the thing is, there are situations where you call win-win situation. If you are not ready to take any risk, then you lose all benefits. That's one thing. Now let's go into teams. So as I mentioned, I've evolved from one thing to another, So if I've possibly left hardware repairs, I left embedded systems, and I am staying with Microsoft 365, then it means it has something that is better than these things I've talked about previously. Because I would not want to leave those ones if this is not better, right? We're actually looking for what is better every time. The betterment might be in terms of finance, might be in terms of experiment, might be in different form. And while he was introducing me earlier, I mentioned DevOps enthusiasts. well, if this space is okay for me, if I'm well, like I'm okay, then why am I still trying to look for something else? Okay, then now talking about Microsoft Teams is actually a collaboration tool that you can use in effectively achieving your communication and collaboration goals, especially in organizations. Now, in the past, these might not be possible, except I have to travel down to Mina. Machunga will have to travel down from France, and Adigon will also have to come to Mina. All of us will have to come there. We have to do this physically. Yes, we have to go and use one of our halls. We have big theaters. We have conducive halls. We'll sit down there and we do the lecture. We do that, and we leave. But today, here we are. I am sitting somewhere, might not be in the same location with those that are other speakers, and yet we are able to see ourselves, hear ourselves, and communicate effectively. We can collaborate here. Now, if, for instance, now I needed to tell you something, you don't want to speak to me, you can chat, you can tell me whatever you want to tell me. These are part of the opportunities, what these are part of the benefits, these are part of the things that Teams does. There are a lot of other platforms that does similar things or exactly the same thing. We have Zoom out there, we have Google Meet out there, we have other platforms like that. But then one thing about Microsoft Teams is this. If you look at your WhatsApp, right? WhatsApp is just what social media and you can just use it to communicate, you can chat and do that. But then some people, you see features every day. Who are those that are behind this? Some people are there making this work for you. And apart from those that are making it work for you, there's those that actually support these things. Now, for Microsoft Teams, you just look at it like, well, what is the difference between Microsoft Teams and WhatsApp? I can do video call on WhatsApp. That's true. I can chat on WhatsApp. That's fine. I can have audio conferences with WhatsApp. What makes it so much a big deal? What makes Teams such a big deal? Well, if you are outside the space, you possibly do not understand what that space entails until you get in there. Now, within Microsoft 365 space, we have SharePoint, OneDrive, we have Exchange, we have other fields like that. They will possibly feel for instance, now I work in support. Somebody is working in support for SharePoint. Somebody is working in Exchange. Exchange will feel, what is Teams? Don't mind those things too. They're just playing. What are they doing there? SharePoint will feel, oh, SharePoint is just so much. You cannot compare with anything. Teams will just keep quiet and say, well, you're not here. When you get there, it happened that they have to deploy some of the SharePoint engineers. SharePoint is one of the complicated technology as well. They moved SharePoint engineers into Teams because we needed some hands on Teams. And when they got there, they realized that, no, seeing is believing, doing is believing. Teams is just complicated. It is. Now, one advantage Teams have is this. Teams leverage on all other services within Microsoft 365 or outside Microsoft 365 to achieve your goals. Like if I possibly need to have an attendance on this call, there is an attendance I can generate as an organizer, as a co-organizer of this meeting. I do not need to start looking for who is here, who is not here. How many hours have you spent on the call? I can take all that. That is one. Number two, you possibly want to take notes. I can do that right on this call. If I possibly need to use certain applications and if I am in a physical meeting, I will need to use a notebook to write some things. I would need somebody to take meeting for a minute for me. I would need somebody to do, you can do all that within just this meeting that we are in here. So you can integrate services from within Office 365. You want to possibly work on a document, like you can have assignments. You have been grouped, and well, one challenge is that you've been grouped. You need to meet to talk. I don't have credit to waste, and then we have to meet to discuss physically. And somebody is telling me I cannot be available in the morning. I want to go to somewhere, and I cannot wait after lectures. I want to go to somewhere. This and that. Just oh, okay, good. Everyone, we will all be at home by 9 p.m., right? Now let's meet by 9 p.m. So how are we going to meet by 9 p.m.? You come to my school, I'll go to Bidankwano, then we can meet virtually. Now, we want to possibly work on a document. I can have the document pasted here, or I can, from here, get the document, and we work on it. You had your own input. While I had my own input, I can see what you're adding. You can see what I'm adding. We work on it at the same time. This is one advantage that Teams brings to us. Now, there are organizations, starting from a single person organization, two and more, and enterprises, they have different needs. for them to ensure their business goals are met. Part of them will not exclude collaboration. If you are not collaborating with the members of the organization, you want to collaborate with partners outside the organization. FUTMINA is FUTMINA. We have visiting lecturers that comes in from other schools. I do not necessarily have to, if I possibly want to have my virtual classes, we all remember when we had COVID-19 then, a lot of organizations crumbled and some of them were not able to pick up themselves until today, while some thrived and they did very well. There are some fields that you possibly feel, well, there's no way you want to do it remotely. There were court sessions during this period, but it might not be in Nigeria, but there were court sessions during this period. What were they using? Skype for Business, Teams. And they use this one to have hearings and to make judgments. Even doctors, doctors have sessions as well. Virtual sessions. You possibly wonder, how will the doctor have a virtual session, right? Well, don't be surprised that today we have doctors that work from the comfort of their home and they don't go out and they are doing their work professionally. Yes, this is the world that we are in now. This is what the technology is talking about now. Now, you need to have an understanding of all these things so that you realize that, well, you cannot just cage yourself into the wall of school alone. There are things after school. The opportunity you have here is that I graduated from FUTMINA, Computer Engineering, 2017. So had members of these the speakers here as well. And we are talking about what is after school. So you should realize that, well, these people are in the same shoe that we are in now, and they've seen what the outside have for us. You should not finish your school, especially as a computer engineering graduate, and you not start looking for where to start. You will definitely have to look for things to do, like upgrade yourself, upskill yourself, but you should not be like someone that is coming from a completely non-technical background that wants to also step into tech. We have people nowadays, I'm coming from educational background, I'm into marketing, I'm into administration, I'm into this, I'm into that, and they all want to come into tech. Why? Because tech field is evolving and a lot of opportunities are being created. Previously, I went to learn before after secondary school, I went to learn desktop publishing. I know the amount I paid for it, learn Word, learn Excel, learn how to type, learn this and that. I paid for it. And then there were jobs for desktop publishers. I will be employed just to take meetings, document things, design, all that. But today, even if you are going to be employed as a teacher, they will tell you computer literacy is one of the requirements. No, it means they're not employing desktop publishers anymore to come and type for us. No, as a teacher, you're going to type your questions, type your lesson notes, and you're going to submit it virtually. You're not going to come and write for me and give me a book. Now, this is one of the things we can easily relate with. To tell you that the world is evolving. So now, these fields, they say IT technology is taking our jobs. No, it is not taking our jobs. I can tell you that a few years back, like let's say 10 years back, who knows about data analysts? Like data science, what are they doing? What do they do? This becomes popular and more demanding. You have machine learning, you have blockchain. What are these things for? When I mention blockchain, is I possibly want to remember, okay, the chain that is behind the wheel of a bicycle, or like you want to think of these things. Is that the chain they're talking about? Cryptocurrency. Okay, yes, we did cryptocurrency in the school. You have sci-fi key and all that. Where you write your exam and you pass and you go. Dr. Lani is there. Professor Lani now. So now you want to possibly feel what is the relationship of all these things. But now you start to think and see that, oh, well, these things have correlations, because what you're seeing in the world today now, there are more or less of the things that you are hearing in class. You're hearing cipher keys, you're hearing this and that, and you are seeing the implementation, you're seeing the applications in the real world. So today, it is no more about all those many jobs. It's about technology. Technology is coming in to create more jobs, while some jobs that are many jobs need to be integrated into some other things that are not. They will not be standalone again. So what that tells you is that you need to keep evolving. If I was the hardware maintenance engineer like 10 years back, and I want to remain there, I don't want to know what it's Microsoft 365, what is the cloud, then I will still be there doing that today. Train some people, those people will go out to go and learn about the cloud, they will do better, and they'll come and employ me to come and do hardware maintenance for them. At the end of the day, I'll possibly see, oh, well, the systems that we have today, i7, they don't have much to do. I don't have much to do on them. I just have to do replacements. It's not fetching me money. I just have to change them. It's not doing this for me. Most of the system are not getting issues anymore because their technology is evolving and they're being more rugged and doing very better, not needing my involvement anymore. That's what we're going to have. But because it evolves, and I keep evolving with that trend as well, it makes me relevant with what we have today and makes me look into what is coming tomorrow. Because, well, we have DevOps, we have something that is coming that DevOps engineers are even thinking, is this coming to take our job? But then if you're in the space, you know that, yes, you weren't here yesterday, then nothing is not coming to take a job. It's coming for you to leverage on that to get something that is better than what you have right now. Now, you should be challenged with whatever technology that's coming out. Don't look at it in the aspect that, oh, is it coming to take a job? Is it coming to it's formed to make you learn. You learn and relearn. There were things I knew yesterday. I might have left some of them, but some of them I still remain that I keep applying in what I'm doing today. Now, for me to be a voice engineer, for me to be an expert in Microsoft Teams, I need to be good with networking. There are instances where you have instances. We have let me just give you a brief of what I do. Now, we have organizations that have calling solution. Like for instance, now you go to offices, they have land phones. They can make calls. I don't need to go from this office to another. They can just call. But nowadays we have people that they are not just using those local phones. The phones they are using now, they have what we call SBC. SBC is a telephony system. Session matter controller is let's say direct routing now is a telephony system where you have on-premises telephony system. You have your SBC. You have everything set up locally, but you want to leverage on the cloud. You want to take your phone system to the cloud. I possibly have a number that I'm a company, and a lot of people are aware that I have a number that I use for my company. They call that number. If I want to move to the cloud, that doesn't mean I should lose all the customers I have. So I want to take my phone number into the cloud. That way, I want to maintain my existing infrastructure and integrate it with the cloud. That gives me, okay, I need to have knowledge of the on-premises environment and understand how I can integrate it with the cloud. If you now do that, it means you have something that we call direct routing for Microsoft Teams. In this instance now, you need to have understanding of what direct routing is. If I am a support engineer, I am a support engineer for Teams. I was working as a support engineer directly with customers, then transitioned into technical lead, supporting the ambassadors working with customers, and now I work as an expert, providing consultation and support services for the engineers working with customers. But now, what helped me was that I have basic understanding of networking. I have basic understanding of all these OSI models, IP addressing, subnetting that we do in class. This architecture, I have understanding of all these things, because what happens is that we want to set up your direct routing. You need to understand. They're going to tell you you have your header, you have your footer, you need to have this range, you need to have this port opened, you need to have this URL added into your firewall. What do you understand by firewall? We mentioned that these things in class, but well, just take it and write our exam and leave there. So understanding of all these things helped me in maintaining where I am today and still create more opportunities for myself. I'm better than somebody that does not have understanding of what networking is, what firewall is, what this and that is. So this is the advantage this gives you as a computer engineer. So you have the fundamental knowledge. You just need to look at, okay, what is actually in vogue? What do I need to learn? You will not start from after what is OSI model, what is subnetting, what is IP addressing, what is firewall, which port do I need to do on this one? HTTP is port 80, HTTPS is port 443. All these things are things that we learned in the class. So this is why now you now see, oh, these are actually relevant to what is in the outside world. So I'm trying to bring what you are learning into what is outside the world, so that you know that, yes, you're not just learning to keep in your house. You are learning it to understand it, so that you're going to apply it when you get out there. It's going to be much more easier for you to set your foot into the space that you actually belong. So please, that is where I want to talk about Microsoft Teams for the next 24 hours. I'll still keep going. Microsoft Teams is a very, very wide space that I can only work in a part of it. There is something we call dedicated systems, dedicated devices for teams. When it comes to that, I would direct that to the specialist that is working in that area. Meaning that Microsoft Teams alone in Microsoft 365 is wide enough for us to have specializations in each area. Not to talk of other aspects of Microsoft 365. And Microsoft 365 is just a portion of the cloud. We are not even talking about Azure. We're not talking about we're not talking about anything Azure here. We're not talking about the cloud in a whole here. We're just talking about the subset of SaaS solution. We have a lot of SaaS solution out there. Just talking of M365. Now, if M365 is creating a lot of jobs, and other areas are as well, we create a lot of jobs. Then it tells you that what you just need to do is pick your own area, develop yourself in it, and make sure you know what you know. Because you should be able to tell me, what can you do for me? Somebody posted out there, I've been job hunting for this period of time. I've been saying, okay, can you please send me your CV or your resume? Let me actually see. Then come and tell me, what skills do you have? If I want to possibly look for a job for you, tell me the skills that you have, so I can say, let me see if perhaps there is any opening in this domain. But well, I can type. I used to enter data in Excel. You need to do better than that as a computer engineer. You need to start looking at it from the aspect, okay, yes, something is outside there. I cannot just cage myself into the wall of the school. What is outside there? There are people that have been in the field. Let me liaise with them. Let me know what are the things I actually need to learn here. Your projects should possibly be tailored towards something that you want to do outside. So these are the things that actually help us to maintain our stand and still evolve from what we were to what we are right now. I believe the time is fast spent because I have other speakers. Thank you so much. If there's any other thing I need to talk specifically again, I will be glad to talk about it. Thank you. Joshua, over to you.
Thank you, class rep. Thank you, Abdulhafiz, for this wonderful session. That's just a little of what Teams is. He's trying to sugarcoat it that Teams is a nice technology. It's a nice one, but my God, one of my best technologies. But oh my God, when you begin to work with it, like not just the front end you are seeing, the back end. Oh my God, it's something else. But yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Hafiz. So I think I'm still the one. Quickly before the data guys cannot even wait. They can't wait. They are smiling patiently. Let me quickly just show something, and then I'll hand over to them. So I'll be sharing my screen. I've minimized all confidential documents. So, like I said, security is key in Microsoft. So, you can see my blue screen, right? So I mentioned earlier that you could the platform as a service, right? You could develop and test. I also mentioned the tracks like fields you can measure in Microsoft 365 and even in Azure, as Hafiz also said. There's another one that is if you know you have this keen interest for development, but you are doing data structure, is not entering your head. You are doing algorithms. You would say you're a developer, right? Let me tell you, no matter how big you are as a developer, no matter how far you've gone, as long as you want to apply for a job, either within Nigeria or even outside, you must do data structure, right? And data structure is like one of the worst nightmare for developers, whether front end or back end, or even application developers. Because no matter how good you are, there are some questions that they will give to you if you've never seen it. So, but your thought process on how to resolve that, it's what matters, right? So that's like when people are still more, they need to weed out people. They use data structure to weed out a lot of developers. It's not that those developers are not good. No, they are good, but the companies know what they want. So the reason I brought this up is we have what we call power apps. You must not have programming skills to be able to develop applications, right? You could develop chat boxes. You could develop applications for your organization, even for the department. Yeah, you could develop a leave tracker, a service desk system, and a lot of things. So quickly, I have something in here. So Microsoft 365, right? This is what it means. This is how it is. It's web. It's on the web. You need internet to access it. It's a software as a service that is delivered on the web, right? So all you need to do is go to office.com. Microsoft 365, we have different types. We have the personal, that's the home, and then we have the business, and we have enterprise, right? So the home is a different one entirely. That's when you can have an account for just you as an individual or for your family, yeah, or for your family as which can be used. The data subscription is for 2 to 6 persons, right? But the personal is just for 1 person, right? And then the business, you also sign into the personal the same way. Or for the personal, you can use your Gmail, you can use your Yahoo Mail. However, for the business, you need to get a date. You have to maybe add your domain, custom domain to it, or you can use default.microsoft.com. So I'll be signing in here with my test tenant. Just quickly show you something. I remember. V at 7 So I've not added my custom domain. So when you're creating a business account, there's what we call the default.microsoft.com. So Microsoft adds this for you, right? So the reason why I have this is I created a developer's account, a free account that I use for my testing and development, right? So this was automatically because I didn't add a name when I was doing that. So let's see if I can log in. Okay, got it. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I can stay signed in or I can decide to say no. So when you sign in, depending on the privilege you have, depending on the permissions you have, this is what you see. It's as simple as this, right? So clicking here is the app launcher. Just give me a minute. It's kind of taking a while. Okay, yeah. So you see all the apps that are available. Right, these are just a few of them. You'll see the Teams, I'll open it. You would see SharePoint, I'll open it. You would see OneDrive, I'll open it. Oh my God. I'll open it, OneDrive. And then you would see Outlook. I will open it. Yeah. So I like to click on this to see other things. Where that is coming up, let me just quickly show you our team together. So for Teams, it opens somewhere else. Okay. Yes, just need to refresh this since the credentials. Sorry, catch. Okay, cool. Yeah. So this is the admin portal. This is where every configuration is carried out. Everything is carried out. Coming back here, let me show you something. Even the Power BI that you guys want to talk about, everything is included here. Right? So Power BI is just an aspect, and then Exchange is an aspect, Teams is an aspect, Exchange is an aspect, and Power Apps. So this is what I want to show you, right? Even Dynamics. If you're interested in finance or just our ERPs, Enterprise Resource Planner, you can decide to go into Dynamics. Either you would design an ERP for a smooth operation of an organization, and then other endpoint managers where you use a single management experience for basically for your IT, for your users, to ensure that your employees' devices and apps are secured and managed, right? So even if you lose your app or your phone or your system, those systems or the phones can be remotely wiped out, right? So that they don't have access to your data and with access to your company's data and the likes. So this is how Outlook looks like. This is Outlook on the web. So you physically send your emails, right? So this is just the basics. It's beyond this. right? If you decide to say, you want to venture into supporting Microsoft solutions, right? You will discover that what is behind 6 is more than 7. Yeah, but this is just to give you an idea of what it is, and then look inwards and see, okay, is this what you want? Is it what you want to do? Yeah. Okay. So let me come back here. I wanted to do something quickly. Admin portal. So I'll go to the admin portals also. Come here. I'll come to Teams. So I don't know if this is Power Platform, this is Power Platform. So it's kind of taking a while, I think, because I'm using my mobile data. The Wi-Fi is kind of not what I wanted. So this is OneDrive. This is particular to me, to this user that I used to sign in, right? So OneDrive is your own storage that Microsoft gives to you. Microsoft gives you 1 terabyte, right, to use as like for individual. Yeah, so you could come here, organize your work, your document, and the way I'm supposed to show you this. Okay, so I have my OneDrive here, right? I have a lot of documents syncing here and likes. Yeah, so I can decide to say my OneDrive, this is my OneDrive, and then you see how the documents are organized in folders. The folders is a nested folder, my stores, and then I have them organized like that. Yeah. So I will have the same thing here. That's in my files. I have my document library. I create files, folders, and 5 different types of files. Even some of the formats that are not here, all I need to do is, let's say I want to sync this, yeah? I click on let me go back, let me show you how to sync, right? So you could sync this to your desktop the way I have mine synced here. Where is it? I have mine synced here, and then everything I can decide to while I'm working here, upload everything. As you can see, the status is here, yeah, and then all these things are uploaded directly to my OneDrive. I would have loved to show you my business, my work account, but privacy, right? So yes, you can create all these, and then you have all these available to you at any time. So let's say I create, I have something here. I say X, and our color is purple. Yeah, I choose this. I create, and then I have this folder. I could decide to say I want to share with let's say Afis. If I have Afis email, let me just see. So you'll see that this person is outside of my organization. It will give me a prompt here. So Afis, this does not exist. I'm just choosing and say I have my children at France.com. Yeah, I can share with anybody. As you can see here, these people are outside of my organization. By my organization, it means my Office 365. My Office 365 represents my physical organization. Right? I can say, okay, these people, I only want them to view. I don't want them to edit. I could go further and say, no, I don't want this. What I want is, I want them to have direct access. Manage access. So I can decide to say, let me show you something. Let me quickly show you something here, CPE engineering, right? And say, I can decide to say, I want SICT. I want, for this particular folder, I want only CPE guys to have access to this folder. And then every other person do not have access to this folder. They don't have access to the folder. So I come here to set the permissions and say, for senior lecturers, this is the folder they have access to. They can collaborate, they have access to some documents that junior lecturers or even other staff of the department do not have access to. And then for students, it's only students that have access to this, or their level advisors and even their lecturers. I will stop here. So here, what it means is you are saying stop inheriting, because I have a folder called footmiller. This is the parent, and I have subfolder. So automatically, this subfolder, these child folders are inheriting from this folder. If you're programming your OOP inheritance, right? So the same way. So I don't want, if I allow this, it means that the people I'm giving access to will have access to this root folder, and then you can see other things they're not supposed to see. No, I don't want that. I could just come here, stop inheritance, and then give unique permission to only that folder, grant them unique permission to only that folder. All they can see is that folder. No matter what Hafiz does, they cannot see anything aside that folder. Yeah? So just for security purpose, I can decide to say, okay, I want them to sign in. Yeah? I can decide to say, share everything in the folder. Yes, I can decide to say, okay, I don't want to share everything in the folder itself. I want to share only a particular document with Hafiz. I will say, okay, I only want him to view. I want to give him full control. I will do a lot of settings. So these things are not things you just know overnight. Like, these are some of the things you work, if you're working with support, these are the things that customers will call in, depending on the shift you're working on, around the clock, call in, and then you help assist them to resolve some of these issues. So this is OneDrive. Then for SharePoint, this is the SharePoint. Right, let me go back here. Let me see. This is the admin portal. So SharePoint and OneDrive goes hand in hand. Right, so this is where you control, you create site. You want to create site for CPE, you create an intranet for CP that you use to pass information. The students can log into that site, and then they work on that document. They get information, news from the department, or about the department, scholarship news, project, internal defense date, project progress date, the defense date. Maybe you need to come for a particular lecture. Maybe one of the associate professors is becoming a full professor. You need to come for inaugural lectures and the likes, right? So all your files, all your sites, you can create sites here. You can either create a communication site for passing information, or you create a team site. And then, as Hafiz have said, teams got across every service, a group, SharePoint, like that. And in Teams, let me show you, right? I could decide to say, okay, I want to have a group discussion. I can create a team here and say, okay, for CPE guys, yeah, why is it? So for CPE guys, I want to create a team. For CPE guys, I say only, I want to create this from scratch. I want to give a public team. I can decide to create a private team, and only people that have access to it can access it. So I want a public team and say only CPE. Okay? And then this gets created, and then start typing in name of group, add members. Let me add Joshua to this, and then I add and I close. So what happens? CP is created here. As you can see, CP is created here. I can start a conversation. Hi, and then I post. I can decide to attach files here, right? I can decide to share files. So I can decide to also say, I want to come back here, and then I want to add a member. Let's add Hafiz. Hafiz is external to my organization, right? And I put Hafiz.gmail.com. I add him as a guest. Hafiz gets added to my organization as a guest. And then I can share files. This person has been added here. So Hafiz now, I can share files with Hafiz. I can create, remember what we saw in OneDrive? The same thing you have here. You can upload files and Afis also can sit, Afis can open it, Afis can work with it, work on it the same time as you're working on it. Yeah. And then for SharePoint, by SharePoint, yeah, you see all the settings you need to make. So let's see, let me quickly refresh. I should see CP now. I just refresh time. As you can see at the top here, you see 1.2 terabytes per user. So because I created a team in Teams, it creates a SharePoint site for me. I can access the SharePoint site. I can do anything. I can look into these are some of the features, some of the technology. It looks very easy because I know how to use it, right? But still, I'm still learning. So learning is continuous. Okay, so you can do a lot of things. You can customize this page the way it is and say, no, I want to add additional features. I want to make it a beautiful page that when someone comes into within the organization, comes into this URL, we're able to see a nice, appealing website, right? And then coming to Power Platform. Oh, that's an error. Yeah, so this is Power Platform. Yeah, so this is the Power Platform. What's the name? So you could use Power Platform to create applications. Like you need to create applications that you even if you don't have what's the name, you don't have a programming experience, you could use it to create applications. They are called low-code applications that you don't even need access to. Like you don't even need much experience in programming. Yeah. So things like this, you have. Let me see if I have. I'm not sure it's this account, but yeah. Let's see quickly. Next. I want to show you an example so you will have a grasp of what we are really talking about. Billings environment. So I click on these. Just bear with me a little while. We're doing the next 1 minute. Okay. Overview. Yeah. All right. So you have this view. So you can add a data vars here. You can add resources, a flow, that's power flow of Power Automate or Power Apps, right? Let me see if I can see a history rather of what I was doing. Okay, not seeing anything here. So I would have shown you examples of some of the things I had created before now. Yeah, so you could do a lot of things as support. You can reach out to support their policies and things that you can create whatever application you want to create. You just have a feel of it. You can be a developer without even learning how to code. It's what we call the co-pilot now that's making the development even more easier. So you can leverage on those and then you're good to go. Yeah. So thank you very much, guys, for listening to me. So at this point, I would hand over to Toyin. Toyin, please. Thank you.
Good morning once again. I'll be talking about data analysis. We'll be looking at how data analysis can benefit us. What is the good thing about data analysis? Data analysis is a field that everybody is going into. And funny enough, I see data analysis as the oil mine of the next generation. What do I mean by oil man of the next generation? Everything we're doing, even funny enough, the AI we're talking about today boils around data, and analysis. You'll be able to look at, okay, oh, this how this data has been coming, this how data has been coming, what can we do to work on the data? So a data analyst is somebody who collects, organize, study a data, and provide business insights by applying techniques and tools for the analysis. They create visualization. Now, what do I mean? This is big English. What do I mean? A data analyst serves as a gatekeeper to an organization. Now, let's break it down. An organization is there. Every parastatal on earth works with data. It's either you're collecting information, because that's what we mean as data. You're collecting information, you're trying to make information work for you. I like using sales as an example. A sales, let's say you have a big sales, let's say Amazon or AliExpress. Now you have employees, you have customer that comes there, you have the orders they make, you have different data and different things. So you have the employee, you have a table that controls, that gives you information about the employee, you have the table that gives you information about the customer, you have the information that gives you a table that gives you about orders, goods you have, how the goods come in, how they ship in. All these things are broken down into different big things. Now, how can I carry all this information and put it together, analyze it, and make my business grow? So this is where a data analyst comes into place, and that is why I address a data analyst as a gatekeeper to an organization. Let's take, for example, all of us pass through FET. Those of you that know what they call dates, I like using that example. Dates, that's the Bino. Dates is, if you notice around this side, people who sell dates always sells coconuts. In fact, funny enough, maize self, this masara maize that people sell, they now put coconut beside. Why do they put it? It is discovered that coconut goes well with maize. Coconut goes well with dabino. And funny enough, if I sell my own dabino, my own dates at 10 naira per one, and I have coconut with me, and somebody else sells his own one naira, which is far cheaper and doesn't have coconut. You will see that sometimes if the space is far away, people will buy my own because I have something to escort it. I have something to eat it with. Now, with the presence of date, my coconut, it makes my sales goes faster. What am I trying to bring? What are the things I can do to this system to make the system favor me? That is how a data analyst thinks. What do they do? Because an organization will employ you. Now, it is common with people who employ analysts mostly around this part of the country. This part of the world is NGOs. What do? Okay, they want to take care of people. They need somebody to go to the field to collect the information and, okay, what is it I can do to help these people? How can I impact to these people's life? So these are people or organizations that makes, things that makes it. Now that is for sales. Let's look at schools. School, all our information, you see 100 level, 200 level, 300 level, and the informations are wide, are very large. The lecturer taking this department is different from the lecturer taking. Now, how can I see? What should I do to what is making students fail this course? What is making the student pass this course? What should I do to improve in this course? These are things the data analyst should do. Now, in politics, you see people who will sit down during election. Common, I think it's been introduced to Africa too. You see people sit down and tell you, if Chelsea win, and they win this way, therefore, Republic will win. You see people who have sat down and studied it, and because of that, they came with findings. In the geography aspect, you see people who have seen the geography, the meteorologists. You see, they look at the data, they look at, okay, if breeze blow this way, and it blows with this kind of current, there should be erosion, there should be disaster, there should be eclipse. Now, these are collections of data that they put together, analyzed it, and come up with some findings. And that is summary of what a data analysis. And that is how data analysis work in different fields. Different fields. I learned that my mentor in data analysis, he stays in UK. He said in UK, he worked in an hospital, and their job is to look at, okay, people during COVID, why is it this COVID is not going down? Instead, it's coming up. Where and where do people contact this COVID? They now collect data. Okay, this person came to this hospital and mixed with this, touch this, and okay, because of that, he was able to get COVID. So they were able to use data analysis to control the spread of COVID during COVID, and it was used mostly even in the US, in UK. It was used effectively, and it was significantly effective. Also, I have a friend in Canada. She works in an hospital. She's a nurse. But in hospital, every month, an analyst comes in, analyze different diseases, analyze their table every month. If the report is not valid, it's not the hospital will be shut down for that period of time, because the analyst will come in and see, okay, how can they improve in this? What can I do? What are they doing wrongly? What should they do wrongly? They will check it. So I repeat, a data analyst serves as a gatekeeper to an organization. So he will take stock, understand the data, and make strategic decisions for the organization. And to be able to achieve that, we need some skills to be able to learn. Funny enough, yes, there are programming, but you can survive fine. In fact, according to my little research, I discovered that 50 to 60% of complete full-time analysts in the US do not know how to write any program. There's someone I trained. I only trained her an advanced Excel. Not the Excel, the Excel we know is deeper than what we just learned. Usually we just learn the surface and go. Excel is deeper. Excel is a way where I can carry so many things that I will sit down 3-4 years and battling with, and I can do it within a minute or within a minute or second, and I'm going to achieve what you will have sit down and be doing for days. Now, the person I trained in Excel works full time. He told me, Tony, I will not do any skill. This one I've learned it. I was not telling her you can improve in that and get better things. Now, skills you need to know. If you even go to LinkedIn today, look at, okay, type data analysis as a job there. One of the things you'll be seeing advanced Excel, Power Pivot, Power Query, SQL. Now, those are things, simple things they don't need programming to survive it. And funny enough, within 2-3 months, in fact 2 months is excessive. Within 6 weeks, you are conversant with it. Excel is superb. Excel, Power Pivot, SQL, Tableau, Power BI, and there are so many academic parts of it. Now, if you want to go deeper, you can now start looking at Python and R. These are basically academics, but Python too is good. Now, I used to categorize myself that, okay, if you want to work with a normal company or work with a small company, okay, it's good. You learn Excel, you learn all those things. Now, if you want to work with Amazon, you want to work with Google, you want to work with bigger company, now start going deep into it. But what am I trying to bring out? I'm trying to bring out the fact that data analysis is a skill widely requested for. In fact, if you look at, I've been looking for the website, the widely searched career that are widely needed, all in the UK today. Data analysis is the second in the list. Now, this is the same place where there are medical doctors, and medical doctors is still behind data analysis there upon how medicine is needed more. When you look at it, you see that data analysis is widely needed. This is a career that once you know what you're doing and you can prove what you're doing, it's no problem. Now we're looking at overseas as precedents. Let's look at our Nigerian thing. In an NGO that pays a data collector 50K, pays an analyst from 350 with an accommodation. He pays an analyst with a 350 and a data analyst is one of those jobs that I can do in 3 different organizations and they will not be aware of themselves. And I will be doing them at the same time, which is not common here in Nigeria. But let me tell you, as a data analyst, you can do that effectively. Yes, I am in your salary scale, I am in staff with this place, and staff. In fact, if you didn't do more than a job as a data analyst, you will be redundant because you just be sitting down, no job for you. You will be redundant because you retire if you are an active person like I am, and you sit down and you're working with one company. Because if you work with a company, 2 months is enough for you to study and get used to the thing. And let me tell you, if you work in an organization, what you did in Monday or January is the same thing you will do to December. It's just that maybe December you compile it, you have a larger scale, but it's the same thing you'll be doing. Now, at the point where you do it, then who are giving you, who don't know data analysis, are giving you a job, expecting you that, okay, in the next 3 weeks, you should finish it. And this is something that I just punch my button and I get converted to the system. Within 3 hours, I am done. What will I now be doing within that 3 weeks? I will just be sleeping. So a data analysis is a skill that is widely accepted because it is needed. People are needing it. Funny enough, even other fields that are on ground, like this particular, this one they call project tester. These people that who test app testers, they test app testers. They use analysis. They use analysis as part of the skill to be able to achieve that. I trained a team of people who are based in UK. All of them are project testers, but they came to register for SQL alone to learn because they need it. They need to be able to filter, analyze the project they are looking at, be able to give decisions about those things. So, as a data analyst, you need so many skills. Mostly, as a beginner, what I recommend, I'll say, okay, get used to your Excel. Get used to your Excel. Get used to your SQL. Funny enough, I will still repeat it. Get used to your Excel. Get used to your SQL. There are applications you can use like Power BI and Tableau. In Nigeria, I think Tableau is commonly used. But funny enough, Power BI is a Microsoft application. It is used too. It is wonderful and it is used. In fact, if you design a dashboard with any of those applications, you will be shocked. You will ask yourself, am I the one that did this? So these are skills that are widely and generally accepted. Funny enough, you don't need 10 years, 30 years to learn it. Just have a devoted 2 months and you'll be superb. You'll be superb. So that is how data analysis is. Responsibility of a data analyst. You must be able to obtain data. How do they obtain data? That brings us back to those cloud storage that they talk about. Then mostly organizations around here gives you their information, their data. But in Nigeria, they are becoming more enlightened because with the presence of all this cloud storage, they're becoming enlightened. Once you apply as a data analyst, they give you key. They give you password to their backend, to their cloud storage. You get there, you print out their data, you analyze it and publish it for them to see. So that is how it is done. Then you should be able to filter, clean, monitor, and audit data. Now, what do I mean by that? Cleaning a data. Filter a data means, okay, you should know the data you need to be able to achieve some things. You should know the data you need. You should be able to clean your data. Okay, there are some debts, there are some noise in your data. This information, I don't need it, let me remove it. Then monitor it. Monitor it. Spot trends. What do I mean by spot trends? Okay, in 1999, for PDP to win, they did this way. In for them to win, they did this way. So for me now to win, what should I do to it? I have checked the trends. Okay, this is how it is done, this is how it is done. What should I do to be able to achieve that? So you should be able to trend it. Then you should be able to come up with good, generate understanding reports. Now, if it is in sales, you know you will need your dashboards. you need your pie chart. There are some cases where you bring out the data. Okay, oh, there are how many females that made this decision, how many males. Let us see the scale. Let's be able to compare it effectively. Around here, I have gone for a presentation. I've been sent the data and was able to present it. Funny enough, those people just sat down. They sent me the data. The technical part department sent me the data. I went there, all of them, big tummy. They just sat down and they were looking at me. When the data was showed them, but immediately I displayed the dashboard. They say, hey, what made these people go down? It was clearly understood. So dashboard brings out a lot of things. It brings it out clearly. It's like those of us that use glasses. It's like when you're looking far away, it becomes blurry. You don't see the far. But when you bring out the dashboard, it becomes very clear. I see the on light for you to see it properly. So they'll be able to look at it. What happened? Why do these sales come down in January? And you'll be able to look at it. Okay, from my experience, these sales in January, there are more female that patronize you than male. So because they didn't have money, they did not buy. So they will not say, okay, how can we improve in that? So you should be able to develop and improve the process, because it's an organization. It could be school, it could be hospital, it could be anything, because the data analysis tool. Funny enough, I saw a video about 2 years ago about an AI they are developing. They are developing it for security. What does these people do? They would have programmed some robots, some little harmful robots. I think I have the video somewhere around. They have some little harmful robots, and if you go, it has already understand who a thief is, and it will go around and do the work of a police. It will go around and see you in crime. It will be able to look at you from far, study you from far, and see that, okay, you are the one suffering this person. Let me go and deal with the person. And it will go there and make judgment and make this decision immediately without human being coming to us. These are data, and a lot of AI are using data to develop plenty things to improve on our work. So these are data. Now let's do another thing a data analyst, another important thing a data analyst does is that they get used to the system, the organization they work, they look for, okay, what they are doing and improving it. So that is it. Quality of a data analyst, you must be able to pay attention to details. You must be able to pay attention to details. You must be able to solve problems. You must be able to think critically, think deep. You must be able to think deep. That brings me to one of the questions I usually ask my students at this point. I will ask them, okay, India is large. I have never been to India before. And I will ask you, how many fridges are there in India? This is a market sizing question. In fact, funny enough, one of my question I did remotely, they told me how many pizza will they use to build the Tower of Ben in UK. I was now looking at it. How will I know the size of pizza? How will I know? This kind of thing. They are not interested in your correct answer, and that is how funny data analysis is. Yes, it is like they are not interested in your final answer. They are interested in what, how critical do you think to be able to come up with a sensible solution? How can you develop a sensible solution? They were like the question I said, how many fridges are there in India? I looked at it, okay, India, I have a rough idea of this population. I just picked, okay, funny, I have approximately 1 billion this thing. Now, I am looking at fridges. I know that in every family, approximately, which is not even correct even here in Nigeria, but approximately I have 4 per household, maybe 4 per household. By the time I divide 1 billion by 4, I'll have 2 million people. Now I'm imagining that, okay, those 250 million have at least a fridge. So which means I have succeeded in having 250 million fridges. I will also look at, okay, in the India, it is not only houses, residential houses that has fridges. Organizations too have fridges. So let's share the 1 billion into organizations. We'll share it. Let's imagine that, okay, 20 people per organization. And by the time I divide it, I'll have 50 people, 50 businesses That's 50 organizations. I'm not giving, okay, each of those 50 organizations, they have 22 fridges. By the time I put them together, I conclude that, okay, with the 250 they have before, and with 50, which means, I mean, with the 1 million, which is the 2 fridges per DC, they have 350. Now, according to the wants to check if I can see critically, we'll be able to see that, okay, oh, I used my sense to be able to check that, okay, oh, this place they sit, the houses they is, in this place they is. So, what am I bringing out? Attention to details. Be able to think critically, then be able to analytical skill, be able to have those skills. Then you should be able to communicate, you should be able to pass your information. In fact, as a data analyst, one of the skills you need to know is this your normal PowerPoint. Because you're going to pass the information, you're going to do a lot of presentation. You're going to do a lot of presentation. Because you're going to be doing all those presentations. And funny enough, they are not as difficult as you see it. The important thing is, in fact, I've done a work somewhere, and after I analyzed it as a contractor, I analyzed it. It's a company in Australia. I analyzed it. I submitted the report. I was told I should go and represent my report on PowerPoint, which I did, and I submitted, and I was paid, and I moved on. But what am I trying to bring out? If you work with better applications, you don't even need PowerPoint. It's on this thing. Now, there are these applications that NHIS use in Nigeria. It's PowerPoint. I mean, Power BI. Once you just work on it, somebody has already analyzed it, put it in a dashboard. So all you need to do is put in information. Those of us that are Christians or anywhere, anybody that works in an account section, you see there's this inflow of money, outflow of money. What I did on my system as I was working on the account section in the church, I just prepared a template for it. So immediately they collected money. This one I'll just enter, okay, collected, donated. I'll just put it automatically, it will fix itself. So I don't have to pass through that stress every time. So those are jobs of a data. Now, the principles of a data analyst, you must be able to pay attention to details. You must be able to understand your data. Now, funny enough, understanding a data itself is 50% of the job. Now, transforming, aggregating, and presenting are the other 50%. Even presentation is part of the rest 50%. But understanding the data, know that, okay, oh, this is what this data is talking about, this is what they want to do, this is what they want to do, do it. And funny enough, a data analyst is just a branch of data science. Data analysis is just a branch of data science. There is a part called data architecture, there's a part called data storage, there's a part called so many. It's just a branch. But funny, it is one of the most important branch of data science. It's one of the most important parts of data science. So the flow of a data analyst, you understand the objective of the data, you understand the data itself, clean and transform the data, enhance the data, analyze it, and visualize it. That is a data lifecycle. A data lifecycle. And that's how easy it sounds. So, in summary, a data analyst is somebody who gives meaningful, that draws meaningful and logical conclusion on a data. Person picks a raw data, look at it, he brings out meaningful and logical conclusion on the data. Which fields, types of data analysis? We have some data analysis. We have predictive, we have diagnosis, we have we have people where, as a data analyst, you should be able to look at, explain what has happened. When something happened, okay, what happened? You should be able to look at it and why it happened. We will look at it, okay, what happened at this point? Why it happened? Why did people fail? People failed actually. You should be able to look at it. There's a down. We made lost. Why did we make lost? Then you should be able to predict, okay, if we do it this way and we try this other way around, this one, we should come up with this kind of results. So you should be able to predict. Then you should be able to tell what should happen. Let's give it a try. Okay, if you go this way, something should happen at this point. That is how a data analyst thinks. Fields where data will work in customer analytics, we work in industry focused analytics, we work in financial analytics, I think that's the bank, performance analytics, and risk analytics. Those are the areas where a data analyst work. So that is just a small summary of a data analysis. You'll be able to, and when you're working with data analysis, you'll be able to look at all those things and key points, key core points of work. Because when you're analyzing data, you should be able to pay attention to your time, pay attention to location, pay attention to your core data. So this is just a brief touch on data analytics. Thank you.
That is most of the
Thank you, Mama.
most of it. If you want to,
Thank you so much for that concise and succinct explanation, introduction to data analysis or data science. And okay, Abdulhafiz hand is up. Okay, so thank you very much, Oluwatoyin Oyeri. Mama the Mama. Thank you. Okay, so we have the bonjour, bonjour, monsieur, smiling already for us. Please, you try to speak in English, please.
It's okay. Good morning, everyone. Bonjour à tous, en français. It's a pleasure to be here with you at this time. So I'll be talking about Power BI this morning, Microsoft Power BI. So I would like to share my screen. Can you hear me?
Very well.
Oh, okay, great. So we've been sitting for more than an hour. I think we should all stand up and stretch. You know, sitting for this long, it's tasking. You know, I think we should stretch. You know, if you can, just turn on your video. I like looking at faces. You know, let me see your beautiful faces, right? So we can just stand up and just stretch, yeah. Just stretch. Let's go. Let's stretch. Let's let out all the stress, of sitting and all of that, just stretch, so that we don't lose people, sitting for this long, and then it's tasking, right? So yeah, you can turn on your videos so that I can see your beautiful faces. Yeah, I can see, yeah, Otnell, right? Great to see you. Freeman, great to see you. Thank you for turning on your videos. Yeah, so we can now sit and yeah, while I continue. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I would commence at this moment. Let me just share my screen, and we'll have everybody entire screen. Yep. So, can you all see my screen? If you can, just nod or unmute and say yes. Okay, great. So I'll be speaking this morning on Microsoft PowerPoint. Some of my previous colleagues have said one or two things about Microsoft PowerPoint, Power BI rather. So I would go a little bit deeper into Microsoft Power BI, right? So a brief about me, yeah, like Joshua has said, yeah, we are all alumni members of Federal University of Technology. Currently, I'm a PTDF scholar. I'm studying in France under the Overseas Scholarship Scheme. I'm studying data science and analytics for my master's. And currently I'm in my internship semester, about to start my internship. Usually it's an end of study internship, which validates your master's and which is compulsory that you must do. So I'm a Microsoft certified Power BI data analyst associate, and so that's my email and LinkedIn. So don't hesitate to shoot me an email anytime you have questions, you have doubts, you have anything you want me to answer. And you can also send me a request on LinkedIn, send me a chat on LinkedIn, right? And then we can connect from there. So Power BI. Power BI is business intelligence. So the BI there stands for business intelligence. It's a business intelligence tool. And what it does is it allows you to customize dashboards and visualizations. You can create very beautiful dashboards, and very beautiful visuals using Power BI. And the power there is not an understatement. It is really powerful. It's a really powerful business intelligence tool. So I'd love to hear feedbacks. Yes, 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 yes. Can you all hear me? Let's have it interactive.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Yes, sir.
Let's have it interactive, right?
Yes, sir.
So don't hesitate to interrupt me anytime you need some clarifications, right? So let me continue at this moment. So why use Power BI? You may want to ask, why should I use Power BI? First off, it's easy to use. Like Toyin said, there's no coding involved. It's not compulsory that you must use coding, but those features have been added to Power BI. You can use R on Power BI, you can use Python on Power BI, but it's not compulsory, it's optional. So it's very easy to use. And then it integrates easily with any data source. So you can have different data sources, probably in PDF format, CSV. It could be from the SharePoint, it could be from company, database. So you can. That's why the skills of SQL is really critical at this time. So you can be able to query the database to get data that you can easily visualize and create dashboards and bring out insights. And also it's fast and it can handle large data sets. Large data sets, I don't mean like 5 rows of data. I mean millions and millions of rows of data. I'm talking about from 10 million and above, rows of data. So that's huge. That's huge. We're looking at big data. When you're dealing with millions of rows, you're dealing with big data. So you have to bring out insights from all of those data. So as a business or as a data analyst, I call them, or I call ourselves, or we call ourselves data detectives, right? So we go into the data, we find insights from the data. We try to extract intelligence from the data that will help the organization, make data-driven decisions. And it's not enough for you to just say, okay, we want to open a store in, let's say, Port Harcourt, Lagos, Abuja. It's not just enough to do that. You have to know why. Is the market there? You need to go into the data, dig it out. Bring out the intelligence from the data. Okay, if we are going to Abuja, what part of Abuja should we go? Not just say, okay, Maitama is in Abuja. Okay, I think we should just find Maitama, maybe. Location, to find out location, find out precisely, what you actually need, so you can handle large data sets from that. So there are different components of the Power BI. So we have, first of all, we have the Power BI desktop, which I would show you at the end of this presentation. I'll also show you the Power BI service, and lastly, we have the Power BI mobile, right? So for the Power BI desktop, it's a free desktop version of the Power BI application, and it helps you carry out data analysis, and you can create a lot of visuals and dashboards with it. So it's a free desktop version for that. So as a beginner, I would encourage you. There's a premium version for it. So you have a trial period, I think 1 year or so, before you can upgrade to a premium version. So you can start with the free desktop version where you can, draw out insights, just play around with some data sets, draw out insights here and there, just experiment, get your hands dirty. One thing with data analysis is not about talking, it's about getting your hands dirty, get the data set, visualize, do the different visuals, see how you can extract intelligence, see how you can extract insights from your data. So we have secondly, we have the Power BI service, which is a cloud-based version of Power BI. You don't need any special installation. You don't need to install it on your system. It's cloud-based, meaning you just need your login details to access Power BI service. So you can use it for editing and then publishing your insights and data sets and all of that. So we have the Power BI mobile, which is a mobile application on your mobile device. So you can have it either on your Android phone, or I don't know if they have an iOS version of it, but I use an Android phone, so I have the application on my phone. So it lets you have reports, you can share reports, you can share views on the go. Probably you have a boss. How this is important is probably you have a boss or stakeholders who are always on the move, always traveling here and there and there and there, and you can't usually or you can't have them in one place at a time. You can share these reports to them, and they can have it on the go on their mobile device for them, to see the insights and everything. Probably every morning, or you can schedule, send reports every morning, every 2 months, every 6 months, every 30 minutes, they want to monitor every 5 minutes, so the insights or the dashboards or the views are usually shared on their mobile device. So I'll show you an example of that at the end. So inside Power BI, we have Power Query Editor. So in the Power Query Editor, it's a transformation and preparation engine. So it allows you to carry out data cleaning. You have duplicate rows you need to take care of. You have columns you want to get rid of because it's not important for your analysis. You have duplicate stuff, and then you need to do your data cleaning. Like for a data analyst, you spend at least 70 to 80% of your time doing data cleaning. So it's a really important, aspect of data analysis. It's more of garbage in, garbage out for a data analyst. What you provide as your dashboard, as your visual, it's dependent on how clean your data is. If you have unclean data, that means what you're presenting will be false, and you don't want to mislead your stakeholders, you don't want to mislead your bosses, and all of that. So you have to take your time to do data cleaning. And when you carry out data cleaning in Power BI is the Power Query Editor. So it's embedded in Power BI. So the Power Query Editor is inside the Power BI desktop app, or the cloud version of it. So I hope this is clear enough to this point. Can I get feedback?
Yes, it's clear right now.
Oh, okay, good. So we'll do a little hands-on. I'll show you a little about the Power BI. So I'm working on some projects. Yeah, so when you launch the Power BI desktop, let's see. It takes a while. Okay. Can you all see?
Yes, I see.
Okay. So we'll just wait a bit while it comes up. So in between, if you have some questions you want to ask before the Power BI comes up, do you have any questions so far? So you can see it in here, Power BI desktop. So I'm going to use the Power BI desktop to do a brief demo so that you can see just on the surface, like the power of Power BI, obviously, and then just to whet your appetite, you know, to the possibility of Power BI desktop and the rest, you know. And if you want to go further, you can do that on your own, you know, just, you know, get data sets from, there's a site, there's a large repository for data sets. I would advise, so you can go to Kaggle. I don't know if you've heard of Kaggle. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we're hearing you.
Okay. To find data set on Kaggle, once you log on to Kaggle.com, you can create an account, right? So on the tab here, you can find data sets. There are tons and millions of data sets, and you can also filter here based on what you want. Is this CSV, JSON, you know, BigQuery, and all of that. So you can always filter here. And then it's data visualization. You can always, so like this, you can also filter here with the most bold, new data set, updated, you know, usability. You can click here, you know, and then you can download here. Okay, let's say you're interested in this and 30,000 Spotify songs. You know, you can just come here and, you know, download. You know. So you can see it here. It's in the CSV version, it's like 7 point something megabyte. So you can download if you want. So there's usually a brief explanation, you know, just the columns and all of that. Yeah. So that's for that, where you can get data sets. So let's go back to Power BI desktop. So this is the Power BI desktop new. Okay, so this is the interface you usually see first. This is the interface you usually see first. And then here we have the views, the different views. So we have the report view. So the report view, this is where you would usually have your visuals, right? Your pie chart, your column chart, you know, your line chart and the rest, right? Here you have your table view where you view all the, you know, the different columns and rows in your data. And then we have the model view. The model view is where you create relationships between different tables. Let's say in your database, you have different tables. You have table for customers, you have table for products, you have table for sales. You know, you can connect each of those data sets or each of those tables in, like, you know, creating a relationship between them, like customer ID, with the customer ID, foreign key, primary key. I know you're conversant by now with all of that. So for here, let's go back. File. You can save, your work. You can get data. You can share. There's always a shareable link. You can import content. You can export, and then you can publish. For this publish, that's where you publish the Power BI service. We talked about Power BI desktop, Power BI service, and then lastly Power BI mobile, right? So under the home tab, we're on the home tab now. This is where you usually land. This is like the landing page. You can get your data. You see under this data, so you can get your data. It's either in Excel, OneLake, SQL Server. You can enter it manually. You can get it from the Dataverse and all of that. So I'll show you some of the data sources. Like I said before, Power BI, you can connect it to various data sources, right? So these are the various data sources you can connect to. I just clicked on Get Data. So these are the various data sources. You can see the vast number of data sources you can access. So Excel, CSV, JSON, and all of that. That's for the all category. Maybe you want to get a bit specific file system. It's categorized as this. If it's from a database, there are different database options you have to connect Power BI to, and then Microsoft Fabric, Azure, online services, and then other, right? So those are the various data sources you can import data to, into Power BI. And then Excel workbook, like I said before. Now, for the Power BI query editor, you would have to use this tab. You can see it here. You can see it from the drop down. Use the Power BI editor to connect, prepare, and transform data, right? So for now, let's connect to our data source. Can you hear me? I'm just alone.
I hear you.
Oh, okay, great. So we're going to connect to our superhero data set. It's just a baby data set. I call it a baby data set because it's just a few few rows, few rows of data, and it's just to whet your appetite, just to see what is possible with Power BI. This is a different project I'm working on. Okay. Okay, so this is our data set. So we have our superheroes here. We have the popular Spider-Man, Captain America, Hulk, Iron Man, and the rest. So this is just a baby data set, just 13 rows and 8 columns. We have the name, and their abilities, their different abilities, right? Let me expand this a bit so that we can see clearly. Yeah. So combat, durability, intelligence, power, speed, strength, alignment. So you can be provided with a data set like this, draw out insights from this data set. Just looking at rows and columns, it's a bit hard to say, okay, this is the most intelligent superhero. This one has the most speed. This one has the most strength, in fact, this one would be more preferable, and then body alignment and all of that. So how would you explain to stakeholders, like using rows and columns? It's like almost impossible. So that's why Power BI comes into play. You can easily present these visuals, easily present intelligence in a visually appealing way. So that's the idea. So for the Power BI, let's import. So it's first of all, you have to check. So it's Microsoft Excel worksheet. So we can just we can import it as a text or CSV, right? Let's connect. Yeah. So let's go. Yeah. And then wait for it to load. So please wait while I establish connection. So it's coming up. Yeah. So we have it, and then we can check if so exactly what we have on our Excel, we have it here, you see. So at this point, it's either you load or you transform the data. So if you click on transform, it takes you rather to the Power BI where you do the data cleaning and everything, like I said before. So let me just show you what the query editor usually looks like. Let me show you what it looks like. So this is what the Power Query Editor looks like. You can see here, Power Query Editor. So you can do a lot of transformations here with your data, right? You can do the data preview. If you want to know you want to check your data quality. Data quality is very important. If you have missing rows, invalid, or if you have errors in your columns, it will show you here. That's for the column quality. That's the job of the column quality. And then if you want to check the column distribution of each of your columns, the column distribution, you see we have 12 unique, 8 distinct, 5 unique, and all of that up to the last column, right? If you want to check the column profile too, you can do this and then check the column profile, see if there are errors, if there are any empty rows, distinct, the minimum value, the maximum, the average. So it's like column statistics, right? So it's a column statistics, standard deviation, even, odd, right? So here you can remove columns, you can remove rows, you can do a grouping. If you have done SQL before, you can do grouping. You can add other data sources. You may not just have one data source, maybe from the CSV we just loaded now. You can add data source from, let's say, a database. You can have JSON format data, and then you can import also. And you can do a lot of data transformation using this. And then one interesting thing is you can also do some machine learning, computer vision, and then text analysis, with the incorporation of AI into that. So you can transform, you want to check the data types. I know you are familiar with data types, right? Can I get feedback? Are you familiar with data types?
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
Oh, okay, great. So for this, it's text. So you can usually change your data type. here, here as well. And then you can edit the name. Let's say this, maybe you want to add maybe an S, names, you can always do that. And as you are doing the transformation and everything, you can see from the right side of the screen, the steps are being added. I just renamed a column now. I just renamed this column. It's showing me the named column. You see, I renamed it to names. If I want to take it back, I want to revert, maybe it's not a good idea. The name is not a good idea. I can just click on this text. You see, I'm back to name. Right, so that's clear enough for the Power Query Editor. I hope that is clear enough. If you have any questions, you can always say, you can ask. Like I said before, you have programming capabilities in Power BI. You can run R script and then you can run Python script, but they are of course optional, right? So that's all for the Power Query Editor. So we'll just do some visuals. We'll just perform some visuals and then we're good to go. So we come back home, close and apply. That takes us from the Power Query Editor back to Power BI Desktop. So let it load a bit. Apply changes. So from the tab here, from the tab here, we can see, okay, yeah, it's loading. So we can see different visuals here. Let it load. Let's give it a minute, let it load. I don't know why it's this slow. Okay, yeah, it's coming up. Our superhero, yeah. So 12 rows loaded. Yep. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Good. So now we can start building our visuals, right? So we are in the report view. So we can start building our project from here. So from here, you can see under the data tab, this is our data set. You can click this and then see all the columns. So let's say you're presented with something like this, to draw out insights, which is the most intelligent superhero, right? The question will come like that. Who is the most intelligent superhero? Who is the most powerful? Who is the fastest in terms of speed? Who is the strongest in terms of strength? How would you tell? So you start by loading your data, doing some visuals, playing around with your data. Just feel free to play around with your data, delete columns, add, play around with your data until you get the insights you need. So that's one thing about data analysts. Just play around with your data and see what works and what does not work, right? So let's try this stack bar and see what it gives us. So under the name tab, that's where the name of the superhero is, right? So you can always drag and drop. You can see what I'm doing. I'm just dragging, right? So we can place it on the X axis. So the for the name, it's usually there are two categories. We have measures and dimensions, right? So for name, it's a dimension. It is not a measure. So we can place it on the Y axis, right? And then the question comes, who is the most intelligent, right? Then we drag, put it here on the X axis. Let's see. Still loading up. I don't know why my Power BI is slow this morning. So from here, you can change your visuals. You can change to anyone, column chart, bar chart, you know, line chart. You can also do filters, pie charts, donut charts. So yeah, so we are up. Let me just expand this a bit. Okay. So if they ask you now, who is the most intelligent? It's easy to say, right? By just looking. Can I hear feedback? Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yes.
Okay, great. So from here, you can give an answer, right? Who is the most intelligent? Who can give us the answer?
Iron Man.
Exactly, Iron Man. So from our analysis, we can see that Iron Man is the most intelligent, right? So again, a question might come again, right? Let me click on the visual. Who is the fastest in terms of speed? We can select this in terms of speed. Who is the fastest? Let's see. Let's see who takes this. Who takes the day? Who is the fastest? Who can answer us?
In terms of speed, Thor.
Yes, Thor. Exactly. Thor is the fastest in terms of this. So these are the kinds of insights you will bring it out from your data. You know, from time to time for your stakeholders. You know, looking at it like this, it doesn't really make sense. Which is easier, looking at this or looking at this? Which is easier? Can I get feedback?
This is actually easier. This histogram, like
Exactly. So why do you think? Like, just you can add a few lines if you care to.
okay, because here the it's visual, it is produced. It's easy for you to like just look at the length of the should I call it the
Exactly.
look at the length of the graph. On the graph, I easily see the graph compared to when
Yeah.
you was like writing. Now I'm looking for
Exactly.
how to compare it.
So it's easier. This is really difficult. You know, who is the most intelligent? How would you go? You have to look. You have to look at the numbers. Okay, this is bigger than this. This is smaller than this. This is larger. Okay. I think it's Iron Man. I think. Let me look again. You know, but this is easier. This is way easier than you know. And then in terms of speed, this is the fastest and this is the slowest. So if you need somebody your superhero to come at record time, you know, you're in trouble. You need somebody who is fast, you know, who can show up fast. Who would you call? Would you call Red Skull? Would you call Thor? Would you call Spider-Man? Who would you call? Of course, you call Thor because it's the fastest. So let's look at strength.
Sorry, Pachuga.
Yeah.
Yeah, please. Can I proceed?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I said one moment before you proceed, before you continue.
Okay. Yeah, it's fine.
All right. So, Mr. Nuhu said he had an important meeting and he would want to take his leave. I don't know if he's still here. You can just say one or two things before he leaves, then we'll continue.
Okay. All right.
Please just leave your screen shared. Mr. Nuhu.
Hello, is he there?
Hello, Mr. Nuhu.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the Yeah, I'm very sorry. I will have to leave you. I thought.
Okay.
30. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, sir.
I thought we were going to end by before 12:30 because I have another important meeting to attend now, and I have to be there. So sorry, I will excuse myself, but I want to just lay my appreciation to both the presenters as well as the participants for this wonderful session. So I thank you so much, and I hope the students are going to ask you a lot of questions because I think you opened their this into most of the things that are available outside outside the school. So I wish I stayed to the end to hear what kind of question they are going to ask, and also lay my voice on the deliberations. But all the same, I wish you the very best in the concluding remarks, and also very best of what we have learned. Thank you so much all, and God bless us all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Bless you too. God continue to bless you for us. Thank you. Yeah, imagine that. I think proceed. Thank you. Hello, Machunga. We can go ahead. Anybody hear me? Machunga?
Sorry, I'm muted. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, great. Let me continue with my presentation. So, if you need somebody who is strong enough, you're in distress, who would you call? You see, by just looking at the graph, by just looking at the chart, okay, I'll call on Hawk, I'll call on Paul based on strength, and then you can also filter your data. You can use filters. We have alignment. I think, let's see. Look at this. Okay, so under alignment, we have two options. It's either good or bad, right? So you can use that as a filter, right? You can use this as a filter. You can use this as a filter. The name column, you can use alignment as a filter. So if I want to filter, just to make it interactive, make my chart interactive, I'll add, let me add a filter, right? You see, filters on this visual. Okay, I'll show you the table view later. So you can add filters. So just to make it interactive, just to make it interactive, you can add filter like this. You can select all. You can select bad. Aha. So it filters your table. You can deselect. Good. Those have good alignment, body alignment, and then just to make it interactive, you can add filters. You can also change the color if you want. I mean, let's say you're not interested in blue, you can add different colors. What is that? Okay, here. Under visual, okay, bars. Under bars, you can always change the color. Let's see, let's say purple. Yeah, so anything you want. So it's customizable. You can always do that. Let's say you don't want this name, you can always change. You can always make it disappear. There are a lot of things you can do with Power BI. You can filter anything you want to do with Power BI. It's really powerful. It is vast, and I would encourage you to explore further. Explore further this wonderful application. I'll show you some of the projects I've worked before, like a complete project I've done before, a dashboard. I'll show you what it looks like, how you can, filter this here and there, because of time, we can't do a complete dashboard, right? So like I told you before, there are different views. This was recently added. That's the DAX query view. It was recently added. It was added last month by Microsoft. So they usually do, on a monthly basis, they do updates on Power BI desktop. So this was added last month. And then we have the table view, just like you see on Excel. You want to still see your visual, or you want to see the table, the entire table. You can still do a lot of stuff here too as well. You can change the type, the data type from here too. Yeah. So click on the drop down. Yeah, so you have different data types that you can change to. And then the model view. So if you're doing more complex stuff, I'll show you something different, something I'm working on right now. Okay, yeah, I'm working on this project right now. For the model view, let me show you how it looks like. Close and apply. So if you're dealing with different tables within your entire workflow. Okay, yeah. No. Okay. Model view. So I'm working on something a bit more complex. So I have different tables. This is a project I'm working on. Customer table where you have the customer ID, and all of that. You have orders table. Are we together? Can you hear me?
We can hear you, sir.
I hope I've not lost anyone. Please, if you have any question, please you can ask. I hope I've not lost anybody. Are we all following?
No, we're following.
Okay, great. So we have I have something a bit complex here. So different tables, right? Different tables, the project I'm working on. So this is for the model view. So you can create relationships. As you can see now, if I hover around the relationship, this is the relationship. This is many. You can see this asterisk. This is many to one, right? If you remember, you are from your previous courses. You have many to many, one to one, one to many, many to one. Those kind of relationships, right? So this is a many to one relationship. You can see it's on the customer ID. Because if I hover around it, the customer ID will show up. Customer ID. You see, one is a primary key, the other is a foreign key, right? If I hover around here too, you see, on the other ID is connected on the other ID. So that's how you establish relationships. Product ID, right? So that's for that. I just want to show you that, just to clear the air on relationships, right? So for here, we just have one table. That's why you can only see just one. If you have several others, you can group, and then you can create relationships. Primary key, secondary key, one to many, many to one, one to one, many to many, and then you have the DAX. So DAX is more advanced. So this is where you use functions, use functions to create new column, to filter your data, to perform aggregations. You can do sum, you can do count, and all of that. So that's for the DAX. We won't go really deep on DAX. So I just want to show you, okay, this is a possibility that you can do, right? What else am I missing here? So that's the possibility of it. So I'll just show you a project I've done before now, just to show you what is possible with Power BI, right? What's possible with Power BI? Let's show you maybe just one project because of time. Let's see. Okay, let me just open it from here. Okay, so this is a project I did. It's for a bike share company in Chicago. Bike share company where you. So what they do is they rent bikes. You want to use the bike for 30 minutes, maybe just to move from one location to another. You can just swipe your card, use the bike, cycle around. In this part of the world, that's what most people do. Buying a car is expensive. You don't want to take public transport because it's inconveniencing. You don't want to be in the midst of people, or maybe you just want to enjoy the summer sun. You just take a bicycle from here to there. Short distances, long distances, and all of that. So this is the project I did. So I'll just show you a complete project, what it entails, so that you can have a view of the possibility of Power BI. And then I'll show you subsequently Power BI service and Power BI mobile. I'll show you on my phone how it looks like. Just real quick, maybe it was 10 minutes, so I won't take a lot of your time. Are we together? Any questions so far? I hope I've not lost anybody. Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. So let my project load up, so that I'll show you the possibility of Power BI, what you can really achieve with Power BI. Considering the fact that you're in your final year, Power BI is also a software you can also explore in your final year project. You can do a lot of data analytics with it. Just explore, play around with it, get data sets. From Kaggle, just play around and see the possibility of what you can do, or you can draw insights and all of that. So I should have my project now. Yeah, sometimes it takes a while for Power BI to load up. So it's still loading. Okay, before it loads up, let me just show you what the Power BI mobile app looks like. So this is the mobile app. I don't know if you can see. Can you? I'm not getting feedback. Hello.
Yeah, we can see it.
Yeah.
Is it blurry? Oh, okay. Whew. Okay, great. So I have my project. Yeah, it's just loading up, loading up, loading up. Okay, great. Can you all see this project? I'm not getting feedback. Hello?
Yes, we can see it. Cyclistic bicycle analysis.
Uh-huh. Oh, okay, great. So this is for a bike share company based in Chicago. So this an analysis I did, analyzing how their customers use their system, right? So they start from this is start station. They usually start from a location and then they stop at a certain location. You know, their stations are spread around the city. So based on my analysis, these are the stations that most of their users make use of, most of their subscribers. So this is Streeter, Doctor, and Grand Avenue. This is the average age of their users. You know, this is the average time they spend commuting from one location to another. So these are the total trips so far. So it's about 1.6 million. You know, this is it's a very large data set. And then we have the customers, and then you can also filter. You can click filter. You see it change. My Power BI is a bit grumpy this morning. Yeah, so you can see filter, right? You can see filter, you can see filter, you can see filter. Most trips by weekday, you know, Saturday to Sunday. So from here you can see that most of the customers, you know, use the service on Saturdays most, followed by Sundays. So you can see the figure, and then Mondays, right? And then for the subscribers, and then the average age for the customers, the average time they use, and then the total trips. And then for the subscribers as well, you can always filter ahead. Exactly. So you just filtered. You can see mostly 189K on Tuesdays, you know, Wednesdays, Thursdays. So they can use this for different marketing strategies, different marketing campaigns. You know, by looking at the average age, they know what social media platform to use to market. You know, by looking at these tips by station, which station they can, you know, position their, let's say, billboard. You know, they can have posters, they can have company representatives who will station there, and then you know, for different marketing campaigns. So, and then they can know the days they can do that. You know, they can do the marketing on Saturdays, since most of the trips, you know, take place on Saturdays. You know, most of them use the bikes on Saturdays, you know, followed by Tuesdays. So they can actually strategize. This is data. You can actually guide the company and say, okay, this is the social media platform. This is the train station. We can, you know, put our billboards, signposts, distribute flyers. You can also tell them the exact days which we can do that. If you want to maximize ROI, these are the days we can do this. You know, so this is an example, and this is just a desktop view. You know, I also created a mobile view. Like I told you before, there's Power BI mobile, right? So this is the mobile view of it. So this is desktop view. This is the mobile view. Okay, yeah, it's now interactive. Yeah. Okay, so this is the mobile view. Like this is exactly what I have on my phone. I don't know if you can see this. This is exactly what I have on my phone. And then I can interact with it. I can interact with it. I can filter, I can interact, and all of that. I don't know if you can see what I just did. Is it blurry or clear? Clear enough. It's exactly what I have. Let me move the blur. Okay. Okay. I don't know if this is clear enough. Is this clear? Can you see? Can I get feedback?
It's not clear, sir. It's not clear, sir.
Okay. So that's for that. So you can easily share your visuals with your stakeholders and the rest. So at this point, I would like to stop here. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening for this opportunity. And I look forward to having more of these presentations and speaking to you as well. Thank you. Hello, Joshua. Okay, so
thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, thank you so much, Peter. Thank you for showing us how to do that, right? That so before I hand over to say our vote of thanks, we'll ask questions, we'll try to answer those questions. Before that, I just want to quickly show something. Just want to show something. I'll share my screen. Okay. Let me share my screen quickly. Just tell me if you can see my screen. Yep. Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen? Hello.
We can see your screen.
Yes.
Okay.
It's clear.
Okay. So I have a YouTube channel. So there's a subscription that Teams, OneDrive, the other guys have also shown. So there is a video here that I'm going to share. Made on how to get a developer's account. Somebody's mic is on. All right, so sorry, somebody's mic is on. It's giving a very serious feedback. All right, thank you. So I'm going to paste it here in the chat box so you guys can watch and how to get to subscriptions. Yeah. How to get a subscription straight with you, and then you could then use it to leverage on what you've been taught. It's free, you don't need to pay anything. And then you can also check for other videos that can make you give you idea and help you to put another track also. Yeah. So Thank you very much for listening to us, for giving us 3 hours of your time, 10, 11, 12, 1, 3 hours of your time. It's well appreciated, really appreciate it. And then to the schedules from your work, I really appreciate it. Thank you. So it's time for questions. Yeah, you guys can ask your questions and then you can check us out on LinkedIn also. So while you guys are preparing to ask your questions, let me post the LinkedIn profile for everybody here on the chat box so that you can follow and then you can connect with speakers. Yeah, connect to the speakers, and then if you need them to probably mentor you, I'm not promising that it will be available 24/7 because of their busy schedules, and but I'm sure that they would, when they are available, they would really help, and it would be so get this one. All right. So please, if you have questions, I would like us to raise our hands. Use the raise hand button to raise our hands so that we can treat in an orderly manner. Yeah. So if you have questions, please raise up your hands. So I've posted the LinkedIn for each of us here. So I might have to post Mahmoud's on later. Afis, I don't know if you can get Mahmoud to watch that video and then subscribe so that you can also get other additional videos. Okay, so question time. Eight of us have questions for Machunga.
Hello, are you there?
Yes, we are.
Oh, okay, just froze. So any questions, please shoot. If there's any place you have some doubts, you need some clarification about something, so please just shoot.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Machunga.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so a lot has been said concerning the different tools that we can explore when it comes to data analysis. So I don't know, I don't know from your experience and all, can you suggest, let's say, like a roadmap for somebody who wants to go into data analysis? Where would you advise I start from? And then where should I go to next? Because Excel, Power BI, and other tools have been mentioned, SQL as well. So is there like a roadmap you will suggest?
Machunga, that's for you.
That's for you. That question for you.
Okay, do a train. Okay.
Do a train. Okay. Train.
I don't know if train is still here, but Machunga, you can proceed to answer.
Yeah, I'll just proceed to answer since she's not around. So roadmap, considering your path, to learning data analytics. First off, I would say you should start with Microsoft Excel. It gives you the basis for your data analysis career. You can easily import your data, see it in rows and columns, understand data types, how to use Excel functions also, sum, count, and all of that to do data analysis. It was one of the first data analytics tool that was released, by Microsoft, Microsoft Excel. Even on Microsoft Excel, you can do visualizations of Microsoft Excel. So that's a good starting point. Start with Microsoft Excel, and then you proceed into SQL. So SQL is more of a programming language. I'll say it's a programming language where you can use, it's a language that the database understands. You can use it to query data from the database using SQL scripts and SQL functions to do that. So it's a bit technical, but it's not really a programming language that's very hard. It's all about your interest, showing your interest. First of all, you have to be enthusiastic about this. You will hit stumbling blocks along the way. You'll be stuck along the way. What will keep you moving is your enthusiasm, is your drive, is your passion, So after you've completed SQL, because of course, if you want to pull, you want to get data sometimes, or most times within organizations, they have databases. How would you pull data from databases if you don't understand SQL language? If you can't write SQL scripts, so it will be a difficult journey for you. You cannot understand that. So next, you can explore Tableau. Tableau is a lot easier to use than Power BI. Power BI gives you vast, options. For me, I use Power BI because of that optionality. It gives me a vast option, for data cleaning, data visualization, and all of that. But if you want, like, to put your foot in the door, you can start with Tableau. Start with Tableau. Start exploring Tableau. Then move on to Power BI. But the whole idea is once you know how to use one particular data visualization tool, just one Tableau, you can use Tableau. Once you know how to use Tableau, you can use Power BI, you can use Looker. Looker is for Google. Google owns Looker, so you can use other visualization tools. The whole idea is they have just a single concept. They have a single concept to everything. So that's a good one. And then you can then branch off into programming, go a bit deeper into programming. Because in the field of data science and analytics, you cannot escape Python. You cannot escape Python. So as you step in, as you advance in your career, you can go into Python, you can go into R programming, then you advance and go deeper. So I hope that answers your question. If you need some more explanation, you need some more clarification, you can ask. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much. You're welcome.
Okay, thank you, Machunga, for that. So Ingy Michael also has a question. He said, at what point did you guys decide to branch off into other aspects of computer engineering as opposed to embedded systems or software programming that we do in school? Was it why you're in school, or it was decision is based on real life world realities you encountered after school? Also, a lot was said about certain niches being already saturated. How do newbies stand out in those fields that's where their interest lies?
Okay. So yeah, I would like to I would like to share my story, yeah, a little bit with them. So when I finished at Foodmina, when I finished my engineering degree at Foodmina, I knew I wanted to go into hardware. For me, I was the hardware guy. Give me a laptop, I'll decouple it, I'll fix it, couple it back. Yeah. So I was the hardware guy. Even some of our lecturers, they would call me to fix their laptops here and there and there and there. So I was doing all of that. I knew I wanted to be the hardware guy. Just losing and coupling. I wasn't really the software guy. The programming. No, it wasn't my thing. And I wasn't the office type. I wasn't the office type. I always want to be here and there, moving here and there. I wasn't the office type, sit down in one place and all of that. So after my NYSC, I registered my company. That was like third company I'm starting, But this one was like officially, this was my first official company I registered, Ramtech Global, So we started off doing computer repairs, maintenance, installations. So I do a lot of CCTV installations. I do a lot of laptop repair, desktop repairs, solar system installation, all that troubleshooting and here and all of that. So we have different agreements with different companies, SLAs, service level agreements with different companies. We come in, do your maintenance, you pay us, we go. If you have trouble with your systems, you call, we handle and all of that. So we're doing really well, fantastic, had it going well. And then COVID-19 struck. So that was a game changer for me. I was this hardware guy doing the whole repair, maintenance here and there, having a good company, having SLAs agreement here and there, But at this point, as a company, we're stuck. There was no human interaction. Everybody had to keep distance. We were under lockdown. So that meant I couldn't make money. So it was bad for me. It was bad for the business. So I had to think of an option like, okay, what do I pivot into? I have experience in this, I know that, from my background knowledge, FET, all of that I've studied. What can I go into? And then I thought of IoT. IoT was my first, thought. Okay, IoT, all right. In the midst of that, I had already applied for scholarship, PTDF, I'd already applied for scholarship. So it was on hold too. It was on hold for like 1 year because of course they had to stop the interviews at some point, because of the whole COVID thing. And so the main thing here was I had to think at that moment, what can I pivot into? What can I go into? That's personal story, personal story. I'm just sharing my personal story. And I thought of IoT, okay, I was thinking of data and all of that. And what pushed me into the field of data analytics was how they presented those COVID reports. How you see those stats, how did they know, okay, this country, has number of deaths, this country have this number of survivors, have this number of people who recovered, and all of that. And it's sparked an interest in me. And I thought, how did these people get to do it? What field is this? I don't understand this. And then I went into research, and then I found out okay, data science and analytics. And that was when the field was booming. It started booming at that point during the COVID-19, data science, data analytics, it started booming at that time. So that was how I applied through PTDF, to come to France to study for my master's. So I'm studying data science and analytics, and I tell you, this is the best decision I've made so far. Like, it's the best decision I've made so far. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life, analyzing data, picking data sets from here and there, so that was my turning point. That's my personal experience. It's different for all of us. So that's for me, that's a personal experience. So yeah, it was.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Machinga, for sharing. Hafiz, would you like to say something?
Okay. Well, generally, what I would like to say is this. One. Okay. May I ask, Kamjisho, is there a particular question you want me to respond to, or just generally?
So he asked. Michael asked about at what point did we decide to branch off to that aspect of computer engineering as opposed to embedded system, which you were one of the guys there, embedded system and software programming. So at what point did you branch off? Was it while you were in school? When was the decision made? Was it because of the real world realities you encountered after school? And then in some of these areas, how do they as newbies stand out?
Okay, so thank you for that clarification. One thing is this. For me, I've actually been an enthusiast for computer. I could remember very well when I was very, very young. I used to say, I like farming a lot. Farming, anything like farming, livestock, rearing, anything like that. I love it so much. And I used to say, what I have passion for is computer. So I planned studying computer engineering right from day one. At some point during the admission process, there were issues, and it got to the Senate. I was actually offered agric engineering. Looking at the fact that I actually love agriculture, farming, I should have accepted it. But immediately I told them that, well, I can't do agric engineering. It's either computer engineering or nothing. Later, I just thought myself, getting admission is something. I'm still like.
That's why you're in classroom.
You said?
I said that's why you're the classroom.
So then I was like, okay. Eventually got to the Senate, and they were able to finalize that, oh, actually this guy met all the criteria. Then I was given computer engineering. So right from time I already but at some point, you look at the career that you are in. There are a lot of things that I've gone through MD. I got introduced to a lot of things about hardware. I went to learn it myself, so I was very comfortable with that. And well, getting to school, we introduced to an embedded system. I picked interest, learned it. I was okay. I was doing hardware coding, embedded system, check the temperature of the soils and the likes. I was enjoying it. But then, when we left school, before leaving school, I had our privilege of working with my mentor, Professor Musa Ibino. I realized that there is more to this IT world than just hardware, embedded systems. So when I was with him, I was basically doing embedded systems. I moved into MATLAB as well. I was looking into Logic, and that's transformed to what I did for my final year project. Then after school, so until I left school, I was still doing embedded system. So after school, I was engaging in personal projects and embedded systems, went for service. Before going for service as well, I was doing farming. That has been part of me. But then I realized that this scope is wider than
For embedded system, I can decide to work on projects. It's going to be capital intensive because you want to talk about Arduino, Raspberry Pi, or any other thing you want to possibly use, and I have to do the design and the likes. Well, I need to I've worked to a point before I can say I want to get projects of my on my own, big projects. So with that, I looked into what are the other opportunities that are there. One thing I will advise at that point is this: please try and create a connection now with your colleagues, your lecturers, anyone that you can create a connection with. And after school, please do not lose that connection. It has a lot to do because that actually have impacts on what I am doing today. I had actually gone for an interview towards hardware maintenance, hardware engineer, while I spoke with a colleague of ours that we finished together. And I was like, do you know about tech experts? Tech experts. I actually applied before and well, they denied me before I even got into interview stage. I was like, try and apply again. That was where it all started. Okay, applied, interviewed, and then from there I got introduced to the cloud. Well, we did computer engineering, but then we don't understand it. M365, what do we understand like that? How it all started, got exposed to what the cloud has. So from there, I realized that the cloud is actually is very, 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 very cloudy and very wide. So you just have to look at the cloud and see what portion of that cloud you need to belong to. That is the transformation point for me. Okay, fine. I don't want to keep moving. I can still do hardware very well, but professionally, I want to retain this cloud. Let me see how much I can go, how far I can go in this cloud. So the thing is now, okay, M365 is in the cloud. Well, we have other cloud infrastructures that I will be interested in. Let me integrate them with my M365 knowledge. So that is actually the transformation point. As for me, it's just when we get to a point where we see yes, the cloud has more opportunities, larger opportunities that we need to explore. Then that urge to learn and explore keeps me in the cloud and say, okay, yes, I want to explore this cloud. And for those that are that for the newbies, so one thing I want to advise is that you don't whatever you're doing in class. I've gone through the session and I've gone through what you're going through, so I know what it is. There are a lot of things that are very relevant, but then the application we just try and do it and write the exam and go. When we get to the real world, when we need to apply them, we now start to learn them afresh. So I want you to, especially when it comes to networking and all those architecture, your software development process, depending on the areas you want to dive into. If you possibly feel you've not been comfortable with programming, a lot of us do not get comfortable with programming, coding and the likes. Well, there are a lot of things you can do outside coding. But possibly if you have passion for coding, there are a lot of resources that you can use to learn whatever field. You just need to pick your field of interest. Now you can look at this. For instance, now I'm working in the cloud. I'm working not coding. I'm working in the support line. And yes, you can be in the cloud and work as compliance engineer, governance engineer, governance specialist. You do not need to code. I want to even go into local infrastructure like Power Apps. Those ones are there. Just try and look at where your interest lies. That is going to determine where you should start from. Like somebody asked about data analysis, he was able to give, okay, this is how you should start. Because one thing I actually still observe is that we keep testing the water. Okay, this is somebody is organizing this training, is free, let me join. This is free, different from what, okay, this one is discussing the analysis, I want to join. This one is discussing M365, I want to join. This one is discussing Python programming, all because they are all free. We keep joining and wasting our time. Let's try and look at those things holistically, look at it, what piques your interest, what exactly do you want to go into. Let that shape your how you try and learn and what you need to do. And for the fact that you are going outside the school and you have a year of service, it's an opportunity for you because most of the time for a service year you have a lot of time to yourself. And at that point, that's the best of the time you can use to upskill and possibly before your service ends, you get something that is far better than whatever you could have imagined. Because we end up wasting our time most of the time, and when we get to the real world, that's when we actually realize that we need the time to do some things. So my advice is that just look at what actually interests you. Then you can look for mentors in that line. Then you can possibly get guidance on how to go about it. Then there are a lot of resources now out there. You just need to use this available technology to your own advantage. And don't forget, please, your connection is very important. What I am today in my personal life, my professional life, my colleagues, my connection, I had a lot of effects, have a lot of impact into everything today. So please learn to build your connection and don't lose them. That is very, very, very important. Like for instance, now we are here today. Now Machunga is here, he's in France. Joshua is here, I'm here, Tony is here. We finish together, but then if you lose that connection, how are we going to come together to come and do this and deliver this to you? So that's one of the things you should note as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Afeez. Thank you, Kashi. I would like to reiterate what Afeez just said. See that connection. And networking, don't lose it, no matter what. Yeah, I remember I did a course in 2019 after my service, and then I met a guy, a friend during the course in Lagos. It was paid. It was consulting how to use Excel, how to use PowerPoint, then consulting market analysis and the likes. And then we started working. I was working with OPD as a field supervisor. And then he just called me one day. What's up? Are you still working with OP? I said, no, I've stopped. I can't. He said, okay. No, before OP, I was working with Jumia. And then, are you still working with Jumia? I said, no, I stopped. Machunga, that was the time we went for an NPC interview. So Jumia wanted to.
Okay, yeah, then.
Yeah, Jumia is one how much of it being. So I just left them, right? So the guy just called, are you still with Jumia? I said no. He said, okay, do you want to work with OP? I said, oh, what's the role? Supervisor, okay. So I was sitting at home for a while, although I was learning a lot. I said, okay, let me just go out. I went there that day, I went for interview, and he just came downstairs to meet me with his boss. His boss just, this guy, he has started working with me since yesterday. There's no need for interview, just document him and understand. Power of connection, power of networking, right? Just give me examples. And then other examples, even the one that Afeez gave, the example Afeez gave. I remember when I was still working with OPD, I met him at the BRT bus stop. One day was going to Tech Expert, and it was my sister. I was not a Twitter person, but my sister just saw something on Twitter and am I interested? I applied. And then I spoke to Mahmoud. Mahmoud was already there with Nonso, I think. Like, oh, okay. Then here we are today, right? So you see that connection, do not lose the connection. I know how many times Machunga has posted scholarship. I didn't get this year's PTDF scholarship, but with Machunga's help, I was able to tailor my application. I was invited for interview. I met some of our lecturers, the Olubuji, mechanical professor, Professor Mukhtar, and other senior professor I met in Abuja when I went, right? So it's that connection. Do not, it's key. Sometimes you might not know anything, but it's that connection. Because you have connection with this person, the person says, don't worry. He doesn't know anything, I will train him. He's a fast learner. And then that's all. That's a game changer for you. And like Afeez also said, we're just introducing you to these things, we're not showing, we're not comparing you, we're just opening your mind. He said, know what you want. You need to know what you want, your passion, right? I did embedded systems too. When I was in school, I was more of a designer developer doing our project, web project, designing hotel management systems, doing embedded systems to using not Protos now, Protos, using Protos to simulate all those things and the like, yeah. But I got introduced to cloud computing in 2019. And I was like, okay. When my sister told me to apply, they called me, oh, what do you know about cloud computing? No, before you called me, I was asking me, I was browsing. I didn't know what. I was browsing and telling them the answer. By the time they called me, what I've read, I just spoke, oh, nice, coming for testing. I didn't know what to prepare for. Just read, asked, spoke with Mahmoud. I think I spoke with Afeez too. Just went, passed the exams. We're trained. And then little by little, there's this mantra we had when we were in Tech Expert. stronger together. There is no way you can survive in some environment without you working in a team. There is no way. He's a technical lead, right? I was also a technical lead. Sometimes, even as a technical lead, you've not worked on some issues. And then they present themselves, you are confused. One of your engineers, one of your subordinates, I've worked on maybe one of the first cases he worked on. I say, oh, boss, no, this is how you did, this is how you did. There's no pride. There's nothing like pride. Yeah, so know what you want, basically, and then networking is key. And then this one is just to open your mind, right? Sometimes life might not go the way we plan. I was into development. I started development in 2010, 2010. I still do IT career management. I still develop once in a while if I have time. I still collect development jobs. If I can't do it, I contract it out, right? But here I am, cloud. So learn the skill sets that are needed. Be a master of one. If it's programming, my dear, be a master of it. If it's data analysis or data science and it's wide, if it's just Power BI like Pachunga, be a master of it. If it just teams like Afis, be a master of it, because you might say the situation in this country will make you to jump here. Yeah, as much as you are jumping. Some of us are firstborns, we need to hustle here. But as much as you are doing that, have a goal, have a focus, and then work towards it. We see these men that are seeing their faces here, they are all married with kids. I'm the only small boy, I'm still 22. So they have families, but they know what they want and they went for it. So it's not a bed of roses. Let's be very sincere. It's not smooth, right? It's not. I remember when I'll be crying on my bed, I'll be applying for jobs from 10 p.m. to 4 a.m., 3 a.m. or 1. But like at a point I said, how did I get my junior job? I just woke up one day, I just took my CV, was just working in Yaba. I just saw Jimmy, I just walked in. I said, I'm a graduate. I just gave them my CV. The next day, they called me for interview. Yeah. And then that thing is, you should also learn it. We have shared our LinkedIn, right? Go through our LinkedIn. See how we structure our LinkedIn. 2 years that way too. I know a lot of job offers. Like they've reached out to me on LinkedIn. Some because of the Nigerian factor, right? The Nigerian factor. Some.
I will ask. Do we still have anyone of us here, like a participant that do not have LinkedIn profile here? I want to believe all of us should have LinkedIn profile. If you don't, please go and create one and learn to use.
Yeah, very important. Yeah, LinkedIn.
Yeah, very, very. So they used to call us keyboard generation, keyboard warriors. Let it not be on Twitter. Go and do your LinkedIn very well. I have one offer now that is it from Mountain. I have not even responded. So do your LinkedIn, and some of the offers went away because they are in Nigeria. But I remember got to France, a lot of job offers decided declining because it's no longer in Nigeria, right? But as much as you are here, learn skill. And that thing I need to tell you is all the projects you have done in school, whether it's embedded systems, whether it's web development, whether it's simulation using what did we use at time for simulation? Arena and AnyLogic. You use MATLAB, you use all those things. Put them, get a GitHub account and put them there. It is very, very necessary because as a graduate, you are coming and they say, work experience. You don't have work experience. Present those things to them. You did them yourself. You know how to talk about it. Yes, I did them. Talk about it. And then you stand out. Yeah. So a lot of us made that mistake. We didn't have all those, but we are telling you guys to have all those, have them intact. If you are going to development, you present your portfolios. If you are going to embedded system, you present your portfolios. If you are doing anything, just present your GitHub portfolio. They go through, some people have applied for a front-end developer role, but however, You have knowledge in Microsoft 365. Oh, you have knowledge in embedded system. You didn't pass front end, but we have another role here to slot you in. Yeah, and I will emphasize again networking. Reach out to your colleagues. Don't be shy. Don't say I know because this person in this school. No, reach out to them. Some of your classmates, some of them are wealthy from wealthy homes. They have connections. Yeah, if you fight, settle. It's life. You can't stay on your own. You can't live on your own. So, guys, I think that's all I have to say. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah, so I would like to add also get certifications if you can. Very important. Get certifications.
I have over 20 certifications.
Get them as many as you can. You don't know which one would put you in the door. You know,
Yeah.
it puts your foot in the door. That's what certifications do. You know, it weeds. You know, they separate the wheat from the chaff. That's what you said, yeah. So
yes.
It separates you from the entire crowd. Okay, this guy has a certification. Oh, okay, there's something interesting about this guy. Let's invite him for an interview. You know, I've been invited for interviews from companies I see. My mind cannot fathom. I have a list. Balenciaga, they've invited me.
Yeah, Balenciaga.
Yeah, Balenciaga. Nissan Motors, those that do cars, right? The automobile company, Nissan Motors. Société Générale is a bank in France. You wouldn't know that. General Electric.
Nice.
So why? I have certifications. They can say, okay, let's listen to this guy. Like, what does he have? Have a portfolio. You know, when you have interviews like that, have a portfolio that you can present to them. That is one secret you should know. Have a portfolio, especially as a data analyst, data scientist. Have a portfolio. Like, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so I can hear feedback from someone. So that's like a project I can show potential employers. You know, those are things you can showcase to them. Okay, I've worked on this. I've worked with this company. This is what I've done. I have also certification. This is what I've learned. I can do this. I can do that. You know, very important. And your network is your network. Your network is your network. You will get one contract from somewhere. It's not like you merited it. It's because you know somebody. That's why some people get some kind of jobs. It's just not that they really know the work. See, it even happens in this part of the world. It happens in France. Because somebody recommended you for a job, you get that job. It works anywhere in the world. If it was that I was in Nigeria and I was saying all of this, I would say, okay, because I'm in Nigeria, I just live in one part of the world. I've lived in France. It's almost 2 years now. I've been in France. It works the same way here. If somebody just sends a recommendation and says, this one, I know this one, give him this job, they will give you that job. It works like that anywhere. So that's no. Recommendations work everywhere in the world. Everywhere.
Yeah,
so I'm not saying they will carry one incompetent person and give. No, the person's reputation is at stake. They know you can do the work. That's why they're recommending you. It's not that they are in this part of the world. They recommend you based on okay, you know the job. Let me say my uncle, my auntie. No. So it's a bit different, you know. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Another thing, you see, when we're talking about connection, another thing you should do is you see all these lecturers that some of you are angry at. This one, which year? This one. My guys, my dear, keep a good relationship with them. Ask Machula, the scholarships, they will write recommendations for you. So I've reached out to Mr. Nu many times. I've reached out to you, Professor Lani, and see, just get a good, healthy network and relationship. write certifications, be hungry. If you are in Microsoft Track, write anything possible. There are free vouchers sometimes. Sometimes you need to pay for them, right? You should write. If you are in data science, just anything your hand find to do, as long as it is in line with what you are doing, get certifications. They really put you, they place you at a place where others can even reach you. Okay, so thank you guys. Are there any other questions so that we can quickly round up in the next 3 minutes? Okay, so I don't think there are any more questions. Guys, feel free to reach out to us on LinkedIn, and then we're always here to guide and assist. So thank you very much, guys. Indian people say namaste. The French people say merci beaucoup. The German guys will say danke. Thank you so much for listening to us, and I really wish you guys well. Any last words, Afiz, Machunga?
Okay, so finally, I would just say it's important to keep your connection, please. You sometimes do not need the help of someone. You will not need it for a long time, but just you don't keep in touch because you possibly need their help. A day the person I spoke with that informed me asked me to apply again did not actually give me the job, and I might not have applied then, but then that application actually had a lot of effect in what I'm doing today. It shaped everything I do today. So you don't keep contact because you want to get any benefits. The benefits can just come without even you expecting it. That is one. Second thing is please your LinkedIn profile, work on it and keep it intact. Now anything you do, put it out there. You possibly work on this project now instead of you being hungry at the lecturer that gave you that project to do it and put it out there. Use it to your own advantage. Lecturers do give us work. Sometimes they use it to their own advantage, write papers out of it. You to turn these things into an advantage for yourself. Write things out there. Let people know what you're doing. If a company wants to hire you, they need 5 years experience. They go to your LinkedIn profile. They see that even when you're in school, you've been doing things. Then this is going to count as part of, because the reason why they need this experience is they believe if you've been working with this over these years, you will know about it better. So please keep all those things and let it be out there. Let people see what you're doing. Whatever you do, look at the advantage that's there. Look at the positive side and put it out there. Let people see it. Then please do not forget to keep your connection. It is very, very important. And be hungry for knowledge. Very, very hungry. By now, before the end of your 500 level, you should be able to pick a track that you want to stay on and you want to work towards. Your service year, you should come out with from your service year fully prepared for what the job out there for you. Today now there are a lot of skills I can say I want to use to apply for job. You should have things like that. That yes, I have this skill. They should not ask you what do you have to offer, and you're like, I have a first degree, I have my first class. This first class, second class matters, but now these days the relevance is very, 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 very minimal. There are jobs out there that they don't even need your qualification at all. Today now, I might have finished with a pass, but what I'm telling you now, would you know I finished with a pass or a first class? No, you would not. It's only what I know. I'm telling you how I'm telling you now. So there are instances where you don't even need to tell people what you finish with. They don't even need it at all. You cannot come and say what I can do. I finished a first graduate. Are we doing calculus here? No, we're actually needing what you actually can do for us. So please let's put this in mind and structure ourselves towards what is ahead of us. The road ahead is very, very sweet. We will start preparing from now. Thank you so much and bye for now. Hope to see you some other time.
Yeah, thank you, Hafiz. Machunga. No, I can't hear you. Just your mouth is moving. I hear you. I think I hear you now. Can you speak, Machunga? Can't hear you, Machunga. Nah.
Yeah, perhaps Joshua, you might just give the hand up speech and just wrap it up.
Okay. Machunga, we can't hear you. Apologies. Yeah, right. Okay, guys, thank you so much for your time. Cheers. I wish you the best. I will share the link, the video link with Mr. Nu, and if we need to organize further session, so we'll let you guys know. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye for now.
Bye.